Sorry, but I can't stamp this for you, student. Please leave first. Inside room 302 of the administrative building at Yangqing University, a woman in her 30s sat with her legs crossed, sipping coffee and glancing casually at the documents in her hand. Gu Pingxing stood beside her and said slowly, Teacher Huang, when I came at 5 o'clock the day before yesterday, you said it was too late and told me to come back in a couple of days. Now I've come for the stamp, yet you say you can't do it? Why? Who told you to come? Go find whoever sent you. I truly cannot stamp this for you. I'm sorry, student. But Teacher Huang, our head teacher, said you are the one to come to for this stamp. The administrative teacher grew annoyed. Are you out of your mind? Can't you understand when I say I won't stamp it? You're giving me a headache. She shot Gu Pingxing a disgusted look. Gu Pingxing let out a soft sigh. This was not the first time he had been given the run around. Previously, for a document related to a school gala, Teacher Li, his head teacher, had also told him to get the stamp from Teacher Huang Qi. Back then he had faced endless obstruction. He had run between multiple buildings, wasting more than a week. Only after the head teacher personally stepped in was the stamp finally obtained. Therefore, Gu Pingxing was certain this teacher was fully authorized to stamp the document. He just could not figure out why she refused to do so. As the league branch secretary of his class, Gu Pingxing took on far more work than both the class monitor and academic representative. Especially tedious tasks such as running around to get official stamps. What are you still standing there for? I'm off work to pick up my child. Go home right now. Disgust flickered across Teacher Huang's eyes. Deep down, she held the university's undergraduate students in low regard. Gu Pingxing said with a blank expression, It is only 4:30. As far as I know, administrative staff finish work at 5 o'clock. Enough already. Teacher Huang said she cannot stamp it, yet you keep pressing her? Have you no sense of decency? Look at students these days. If something happens to her child because she cannot get there on time, will you take responsibility? Another administrative teacher sitting at the front desk turned around, sized Gu Pingxing up, and spoke up in support of her colleague. Gu Pingxing fought back the urge to lash out at the two women. He took a deep breath and calmed himself down. It looked as though getting this stamp would take at least 10 days or half a month. As he left, Gu Pingxing faintly overheard the two administrative women talking inside the office. Today's university students have so little manners. They cannot take a hint and act so foolishly. Exactly. With that sort of attitude towards teachers, even if I could stamp it, I still would not do it for him. Gu Pingxing could not understand. It was just a simple stamp. Why was it so difficult? He messaged the whole incident to head teacher Li Na via WeChat. Li Na, all right, I understand. Tomorrow I will go see her in person. From now on I will handle stamp-related matters myself. Thank you for your hard work, Pingxing. After sending the message, Li Na sent Gu Pingxing a red envelope. His bad mood vanished at once. Gu Pingxing opened it and saw 88.88 yuan, a decent amount of money for a university student. This was a reward for all the work Gu Pingxing did helping head teacher Li Na. Sometimes, even for work within his official duties, he would receive a small bonus. Li Na, during evening self-study, please supervise class discipline together with class monitor Yi Wanqing and take attendance. Gu Pingxing, understood. Thank you, head teacher. Rose emoji. He was a freshman in class 1, finance major at Yangqing University. At Yangqing University, freshmen were required to attend evening self-study every day and do morning jogs. Students could use their phones or play games during evening self-study and were allowed to do most personal activities, so long as they were present. Frankly speaking, Gu Pingxing failed to see the point of evening self-study. Was it some kind of obedience test? Or just empty formalism? Thinking back to what his high school teachers had once said, that life would become easy once you entered university, he could only laugh bitterly. Evening self-study arrived. Gu Pingxing played King of Glory while quietly complaining about his teammates. Though he was supposed to keep order, everyone knew the rules. As long as nobody made excessive noise, little intervention happened. All of a sudden, a cold mechanical voice echoed inside every student's mind. Schools today exist not to nurture talent, but to put on performances. Glamorous superficial projects are built, and rules are written in lofty language. Yet what students actually receive are pointless procedures and dismissive attitudes. Formalism prevails. Campus bullying is commonplace. Countless incompetent teachers mistreat students. Schools like these cannot cultivate genuine talent. I am the heavenly Tao. Therefore, I will initiate the Global School Survival Challenge. Every school will be sealed off. Special assignments will be issued to foster real, world-capable individuals. Below are the school survival rules. 1. All schools are sealed. Anyone stepping outside the school gates will die. Campuses are completely cut off from the outside world. 2. All principals, teachers, and head teachers lose their authority. They will be reassigned to different classes as ordinary students. One new class monitor will be randomly appointed for each class. Any student within a class may kill the new monitor to take their position. 3. Every day the new class monitor picks one assignment. Completing the assignment earns survival supplies for the whole class. Any student who fails to complete the assignment receives punishment. 4. No one may leave dormitories or classrooms between 2200 hours and 6 o'clock. Going outside will trigger eerie occurrences. 5. 1% of all students will awaken special talents. Monitors are guaranteed to receive a talent. 6. The 3-day newcomer protection period begins now. 7. During the newcomer protection period, the global chat channel, trading market, and status panel are unlocked. After the long string of notifications faded, Gu Pingsheng sat stunned. School survival challenge? What on earth was this? Every student in the classroom looked utterly bewildered. Everyone had heard the voice. What just happened? The school survival challenge. The school is sealed off. Is this some prank? What prank can speak directly inside your head? Everything is changing. What the voice said does make sense about universities nowadays. Don't talk about that. Keep your voice down. Students chattered loudly. Gu Pingsheng glanced around. A crimson glow spread across the sky outside the windows, enveloping the entire Yangqing University. It was just past 7 in the evening, and this unnatural red light was clearly caused by the survival challenge. Then another notification sounded in his ears. Student Gu Pingsheng, you have been appointed the new monitor of Class 1221, Freshman Finance, Yangqing University. Monitor Gu Pingsheng, you have obtained an S-rank talent, Void Concealment. You can turn invisible and enter a state of intangibility. No living being can see or touch you. Note: invisibility consumes large amounts of stamina. Monitor Gu Pingsheng, please select today's class assignment. Assignment 1. Lin Yao and Li Jun must fight to the death until one side perishes. Failure punishment, erasure. Assignment 2. Gu Pingsheng completes 10 push-ups. Failure punishment, erasure. A chill ran through Gu Pingsheng's whole body. He had become the new monitor. He remembered every rule clearly. If any classmate killed him, that person would become the new monitor. Still, his talent offered powerful protection. As long as he stayed cautious, he stood a good chance of staying alive. Nevertheless, without overwhelming strength, he must keep his monitor identity hidden. He could not trust anyone not to target him. Being monitor granted great power. Not only was a special talent guaranteed, but monitors could choose assignments, some of them horrific. Assignment 1 was especially horrifying. Lin Yao was the class beauty, attractive yet physically frail. Li Jun was a sports student. If they fought to the death, Lin Yao would undoubtedly die. If he chose this assignment, the two would be forced into mortal combat. The failure penalty was erasure. Both might end up dead. Gu Pingsheng shook his head. He could never choose assignment 1. He would be condemning classmates to death. He quickly selected assignment 2. Push-ups were manageable. Completing assignments rewarded survival supplies, which he needed badly. The moment he made his choice, the noisy classroom fell dead silent. Blood-red characters materialized across the blackboard. Assignment 1. Lin Yao and Li Jun must fight to the death until one side perishes. Failure punishment, erasure. Assignment 2. Gu Pingsheng completes 10 push-ups. Failure punishment, erasure. Per the monitor's selection, today's assignment for Class 1221 Finance is Assignment 2. Assignment 1's writing slowly faded away. Lin Yao's face drained of color and her body trembled. She had narrowly escaped death. Li Jun, the sports student, also looked grave. Failure meant death. After witnessing these supernatural events and the crimson sky, nobody doubted the threat was real. If Assignment 1 had been picked, he would have had to kill Lin Yao to survive, and the guilt would have destroyed him. Thankfully, the unknown new monitor had spared them. Even so, the thought that someone in their class held the power of life and death filled him with dread. I don't know who our new monitor is, but thank you. Lin Yao called out. Who is the new monitor? Why don't you show yourself? Are you out of your mind? If the monitor reveals themselves, they could get killed. They will never expose their identity. You're right. Has anyone unlocked a talent? Only 1% of students get them. Our class has 42 people. Whoever has a talent is likely the monitor. At that point, Su Yang spoke. Even if someone got a talent, don't admit it. People might mistake you for the monitor. Students glanced suspiciously at one another. Meanwhile, Yi Wanqing, the former class monitor behind Gu Pingsheng, tapped him on the shoulder. Gu Pingsheng, stop standing around. Do those 10 push-ups right away. This supernatural event is no joke. Better safe than sorry. Yi Wanqing urged. Gu Pingsheng put on a suitably dazed look. All right, I'll do them now. You can do it, Gu Pingsheng. A petite, cute girl whispered encouragement. This was Luo Qingxue, Gu Pingsheng's friend from junior high and high school. They had both been admitted to Yangqing University, and she was one of his closest female friends in the class. Gu Pingsheng nodded, walked out into the hallway, and got ready. Thanks to regular exercise, he finished 10 push-ups quickly. Each one was deep, his chest nearly touching the ground, to avoid any dispute over whether they counted. The instant he finished, a notification chimed in every student's mind. Gu Pingsheng has completed the class assignment. Reward distributed to all classmates. 3 compressed biscuits, 3 instant noodle servings, for bottles of 500 milliliter water. Assignment grade, A. Gu Pingsheng receives doubled rewards plus 1 freely, assignable attribute point. All supplies have been placed in personal inventories. A flicker of joy showed in Gu Pingsheng's eyes. Just as he expected, completing assignments brought survival supplies, and the monitor earned extra rewards. He had not anticipated an A grade. Presumably his proper push-up form had earned it. It seemed higher. Quality completion yielded better rewards. 6 compressed biscuits, 6 instant noodle servings, 8 500 milliliter bottles of water. That was more than enough food and water for one person for a full day. The campus canteen and shops still held plenty of supplies, but looting would trigger violent conflicts, possibly deaths. Class unity would matter greatly moving forward. Gu Pingsheng could not tell whether any other classmate had unlocked a talent. What are status panels and inventories? One student asked. They are game-style interfaces in the top left corner of your vision. Open the status panel to view your stats. Your inventory is inside it. Yi Wanqing explained loudly. Gu Pingsheng brought up his interface. 3 options appeared. Global chat channel, trading market, status panel. He opened the status panel. Gu Pingsheng. School, Yangqing University. Class, 1221 Finance. Identity, Class Monitor. Talent, S. Rank Void Concealment. Health points, 100% 0 HP, means death. Constitution, 11 Physical Fitness. Stamina, 12 Depletion to 0 causes sudden death. Sanity, 13 Sanity drops from fear. Below 5, Mental Confusion. Below 2, Mania. 0, Brain Death. Average stat for ordinary people is 10. Skills, none. Titles, none. Assignments completed, 1. Condition, good. Inventory, compressed biscuit times 6, instant noodles times 6, 500 milliliters water times 8, freely, assignable attribute point times 1. After thinking it over, Gu Pingsheng allocated his attribute point to Constitution. In this survival scenario, interactions with other people posed the greatest danger. His Constitution rose from 11 to 12. A warm surge of power coursed through his body. The feeling of growing stronger was wonderful. I knew you could do it, Pingsheng. Luo Qingxue smiled brightly at him. Gu Pingsheng nodded. I just got lucky. If the assignment had been harder, things would have been rough. That was still amazing. I cannot even do a single push-up myself. Gu Pingsheng glanced at her slender arms and silently wondered. If assignment 2 had required Luo Qingxue to do push-ups instead of him, what choice would he have made? Lin Yao was merely an acquaintance, while Luo Qingxue was a close friend. He sighed inwardly. He honestly did not know what decision he would have reached. All the students stood around uneasily, uncertain what to do next. The day's assignment was finished. Then several boys in the back rows prepared to leave. Their leader was Huang Jiahao, a student with dyed blonde hair. He was one of the class troublemakers, frequently skipping class, getting into fights and smoking. He had received multiple official disciplinary sanctions. Gu Pingsheng was surprised to see him at evening self-study tonight. Huang Jiahao, where are you going? Evening self-study is still ongoing. Yi Wanqing called out. Are you the new monitor? Huang Jiahao lit a cigarette and squinted at her. Yi Wanqing paled. I am not. She dared not claim the position, even though she was the former monitor. Exactly. It's almost 8. Today's assignment is done. Why stay in the classroom? Do you want to sleep here? Remember the rules. After 10 o'clock, you can only be in classrooms or dormitories. Everything else is off limits. Times have changed. There is a new order now. Don't try throwing your old monitor weight around, because nobody will put up with it. Official evening self-study ended at 9:30, which would leave little time to get back before curfew. Yi Wanqing flushed with anger, yet she could not deny his logic. You're right. Everyone should head back to the dorms. We still do not know who our new monitor is, but as former monitor, I will try to keep things organized. Let us meet back in this classroom at 8 tomorrow morning. This was classroom 208 in the main building. University students normally rotated classrooms, yet nobody knew whether assignments would show up on different blackboards. Sticking to this room was the safest option. Yi Wanqing still commanded a certain amount of respect among classmates. Following her announcement, students began filing out toward their dormitories. Gu Pingxing left as well. Luo Qingxue bid him farewell and departed with her roommates. Just then Huang Jiahao stepped in front of Gu Pingxing. "Hey, Gu Pingxing, what do you want?" Gu Pingxing asked. He barely knew Huang Jiahao. "Want to come with us to raid the campus shop for food? This is a survival game. We have no idea whether future assignments will get completed. We might run out of supplies." "Why ask me?" Gu Pingxing asked warily. "I saw how fast and cleanly you did those push-ups. I also remember your physical test results, 18 pull-ups. You are in good shape. I want you on our side." Huang Jiahao grinned. Gu Pingxing shook his head. "Count me out." Morality was one reason. Raiding supplies would also make him many enemies. He needed to keep a low profile, and he already had plenty of supplies. Most importantly, he wanted nothing to do with Huang Jiahao's group. He had once watched them bully a weaker classmate inside a restroom. "Don't you dare turn us down." Long Hai pointed angrily at Gu Pingxing and swore at Gu Pingxing's eyes turned cold. "Watch your mouth." Long Hai's face turned bright red. At that moment, Gu Pingxing's 3 roommates, Li Jian, Lu Chang, and Huang Tian, stepped beside him. They were not especially close day-to-day, but they would stand up for a roommate being harassed. "Mind your language," Li Jian shouted. They had noticed the confrontation and hurried over to back Gu Pingxing up. "Fine. Very fine." Long Hai seethed. "Long Hai," Huang Jiahao called, holding him back. "We are all classmates. Let's avoid conflict." "I apologize for him, Gu Pingxing." Right at that moment, screams and the sound of desks crashing came from the classroom next door. Everyone forgot about their own conflict and rushed over to the neighboring class. Inside that classroom, a heavy-set male student was swinging a stool, smashing it again and again against the head of a female student lying on the floor. Don't blame me. I had no choice. I really had no choice." The heavy-set boy shouted. The girl's head had already caved in. Blood streamed down her face, her gaze unfocused. She was clearly beyond saving. The other students stood frozen, terrified. No one dared pull the boy away, afraid they would get hurt too. Witnessing the horrifying scene, Gu Pingxing froze for a moment, then felt a wave of revulsion. Students from further off classrooms also started vomiting before scrambling away, their eyes filled with sheer horror. His roommate Li Jian muttered to himself, "Everything's really changed now. Damn this survival game. Is this how they're supposed to train so-called talented people?" Huang Tian trembled with fear. "I'd rather go back to ordinary college life." "Stop complaining. Let's head back to the dorm. Moaning won't change anything," Gu Pingxing said, steadying his nerves. "Let's go get some food," Huang Jiahao said. He glanced coldly at the brutal scene. Though he appeared calm, his face had turned pale. He had been a troublemaker before, but never watched someone get killed. The 2 groups split up and went their separate ways. Gu Pingxing and the others returned to their dormitory. An oppressive silence hung over the room. No one spoke. Everyone wore dazed or frightened expressions. Lu Chang broke the silence first. "Do you think what just happened in that other classroom could have been avoided?" "What do you mean?" Li Jian asked. Gu Pingxing answered. "In our classroom, we had 2 assignments. One could get people killed, and the other was simple. But that other class ended up with a fatality. I know some of those students. They're from finance class too. If every class gets similar assignments, their new class monitor is probably someone with a warped mindset." "That's true," Lu Chang replied seriously. "It's also possible both of their assignments were deadly, and they had to pick the lesser evil. There were no instructions about what would happen if the monitor refused to choose." Gu Pingxing sighed. He pulled out his phone and tried dialing 110, but the call would not go through. Calls to his family also failed. He had a younger sister in senior high and a younger brother in junior high. He wondered how they were holding up. If every school across the globe was trapped in this school survival scenario, what would become of them? Gu Pingxing dared not imagine it. He could not reach his parents or siblings. Outside calls were completely blocked. Yet calls between roommates worked. Signal only existed within the school grounds. Gu Pingxing opened the built-in chat system out of curiosity. Chat channels. Whole school channel, class-only channel, stranger private message, friend private message. There were 4 sections in total. The first connected everyone on campus. The second linked all classmates. The stranger and friend message tabs were empty. He tapped into the whole school channel. Li Chang from Mechatronics 1213. "Hey everyone. Is this some prank or what is going on?" Mo Xiaoli from Finance 1222. "This is no prank. Our new class monitor picked a deadly assignment. My best friend just died. Half an hour after she passed away, her body vanished. Anyone on the 2nd floor main building must have heard the noise. This is a real-life survival nightmare. Wang Hua from Landscape Architecture 1215. Holy crap, is your monitor insane? Our first task was for one boy to gouge out another boy's eyes. Task 2 was for one girl to do 20 squats. We picked task 2. So every class gets roughly the same setup? One brutal task and one ordinary-looking one. Whoa, Adamo Xiaoli. Could the victim have crossed your new monitor? We might be able to figure out who the monitor is from clues. Anyone unlock a special ability? Can you tell us? Are you out of your mind? No one would broadcast their personal abilities in a public chat. Reading the messages, Gu Pingxing's eyes widened. This matched exactly what had just unfolded in the neighboring finance class too. The victim must have had some grudge against the new monitor. Otherwise, no one would choose to kill a classmate. Of course, the new monitor might simply be genuinely psychologically unhinged. He also saw posts describing students from other classes dying for failing to complete assignments. Some jumped from buildings, others harmed themselves. Many users posted graphic photos in the chat. There was zero content moderation. One fact was clear. Anyone who failed to finish the assignment chosen by the monitor faced punishment, almost certainly death. At that moment, Counselor Li's WeChat call popped up. Gu Pingxing answered. Pingxing, are you alright? There have been deaths on campus. This school survival thing is real. Even though Li Na used to be their counselor, the rules had reclassified her as a regular student of Finance 1221. According to the rules, principals, professors, and counselors shared the same status as ordinary students. Everyone had to take part in these class assignments. Gu Pingxing let out a bitter laugh. We're okay over here. He told her everything he had just witnessed. Thank goodness. Do you know who the new monitor is? Li Na asked. She hoped to talk to them. Counselor, do you really think the monitor would dare reveal their identity under these circumstances? Gu Pingxing said. I suppose you're right. The monitor said we need to go to the evening study classroom at 8 tomorrow morning. I'll be there too. Got it, counselor. He hung up. Even the counselor was panicking. After all, she was only a 28-year-old woman. All 4 dorm mates finished washing up one after another. Gu Pingxing lay on his bed, lost in thought. He had eaten dinner earlier and was not hungry. Normally at this hour, he would play online games with his roommates. Now he had no desire to game at all. While in the bathroom, he had tested his void concealment ability. When activated, his entire body vanished, perfectly invisible. His clothes and small objects he held, such as facial cleanser and shampoo, also turned invisible alongside him. It was an extremely powerful skill. If he turned invisible and snuck up behind someone with a blade, he could easily take them down. Gu Pingxing gained a new understanding of how strong his talent was. The ability consumed 1 stamina point every 3 minutes. From his estimate, ordinary daily activities used roughly 5 stamina points per day. Stamina regenerated while resting sitting down, and recovered even faster during sleep. Setting aside daily consumption, he could spare at most 7 stamina points for his talent, granting him 21 minutes of invisibility. The duration was quite limited early on. He resolved to use it only when absolutely necessary. A WeChat message popped up from Luo Qingxue. Luo Qingxue, asleep yet? Gu Pingxing, not yet. Can't fall asleep. Luo Qingxue, I've heard so many people have died. It's terrifying. I'm really scared. Gu Pingxing, stay safe. You'll get through this. Luo Qingxue, you too, Pingxing. We both have to stay alive, okay? Reading the message, Gu Pingxing pictured her gentle, cute face. They had known each other for 7 years, ever since junior high, and had often sat next to each other in class. If an assignment targeted Luo Qingxue that she could not complete, he swore he would protect her no matter what. He also thought of his 3 roommates. Luo Qingxue, by the way, Pingxing, I got an A-rank healing art ability. Come find me if you get hurt. Gu Pingxing's eyes widened. She had unlocked a talent, and she was telling him. Gu Pingxing, are you crazy? Luo Qingxue, what's wrong? Gu Pingxing, you shouldn't tell anyone about your ability. People might suspect you're the new monitor. Luo Qingxue, I trust you. Those 4 words left Gu Pingxing speechless. Gu Pingxing, you can tell me, but never tell anyone else, not even your roommates or closest friends. Even if you aren't the monitor, you'll become a suspect. No one knows yet whether killing the monitor grants you their talent. So some people might try to hurt others out of greed. Delete this chat history right now, understand? Luo Qingxue, okay, I get it. I haven't told my roommates or best friend. Stop nagging like an old lady. Just remember to come to me if you need healing. Good night. We need to get up early tomorrow. We have to survive. Gu Pingxing, all right. Stay alert. Good night. In a girl's dormitory, Luo Qingxue curled up under her pink quilt on the upper bunk. She smiled softly reading his good-night message. Her WeChat chat background was a photo of Gu Pingxing. Even her phone wallpaper was the same picture. That whole night was restless. Some students still thought it was a prank and tried to flee campus. Anyone stepping past the school gates immediately suffered fatal internal bleeding and died. Attempting to climb over the walls yielded the same result. A physically fit sports student tried scaling the wall, only to bleed and crash down. After 10 o'clock at night, students wandering around campus vanished without a trace. More people died overnight from breaking the rules than from failing class assignments. The next morning at 7 sharp, Gu Pingxing was jolted awake by the cold system announcement. Many students of Yangqing University defied the rules last night. 257 students died for attempting to escape the campus. 123 students died for staying outside classrooms or dormitories after 2,200 hours. The casualties include one vice principal and several faculty members. Remember, former status as principal or teacher means nothing now. You are all equal students in this survival trial. Gu Pingxing was wide awake. Nearly 400 people had died overnight. The rules had clearly warned against leaving campus and late-night wandering. Why would so many people ignore them? Gu Pingxing could not wrap his head around it. Large groups always have reckless people. Those deaths are self-inflicted, Lu Chong said from the lower bunk. He had just woken but had processed what had happened. The so-called Heavenly Tao set clear rules. You follow them to stay alive. True, there are always foolish people. Li Jian shook his head. In the school chat channel, many students were terrified, while others criticized those who had disregarded the rules. Enough talking about this. Let's eat something and head to the classroom, Gu Pingxing sighed. None of them should have been forced to face meaningless death when they ought to have been enjoying their university years. For breakfast, Gu Pingxing ate a compressed biscuit and drank half a bottle of water. Passing the campus convenience stores, he was shocked. Shelves had been completely ransacked. Bloodstains dotted the ground, left behind after violent fights over supplies. He looked away. He arrived at classroom 208 in the main building. Many students were already seated, even though it was only just past 7. Back in normal times, barely half the class would show up by 7:50. Plenty would show up late or skip class entirely for breakfast. But after the horrors of the previous day, everyone arrived punctually. By 7:40, every member of the class was present. Counselor Li Na stood beside the podium with a grave expression, taking attendance. She had been unable to join the class the night before amid the chaos. When she finished counting, she breathed a quiet sigh of relief. Every student in their class was still alive. Then the system voice echoed again. Monitor Gu Pingxing, please select today's class assignment. Assignment 1. Huang Fan completes 20 standard pull-ups. Failure penalty, erasure. Assignment 2. Li Na stands on the podium with no clothing on. Failure penalty, erasure. Assignment 3. Wang Zihan stands on the podium and imitates dog barks 10 times. Failure penalty, erasure. Unlike yesterday, when red text appeared on the blackboard after Gu Pingxing made his choice. Today the 3 assignment options were displayed directly in crimson writing. The line naming Gu Pingxing as the choosing monitor was hidden from everyone else's view. Still, Gu Pingxing alone had to pick one of the 3 options. He glanced at Huang Fan. Weighing over 300 Jin, Huang Fan was the heaviest student in the class. There was no way he could finish 20 standard pull-ups. The task was practically a death sentence for him. Monitor, don't pick me. Spare me. I'll owe you my life. Huang Fan dropped to his knees and kowtowed frantically. Gu Pingxing felt awkward. Assignment 2 was out of the question. Forcing Li Na to stand naked on the podium would destroy her completely. No different from killing her. Li Na's face paled. She truly understood what it meant to be reduced to the same status as the students. If the hidden monitor turned out to be perverted, she had always dressed neatly and professionally for class. Yet the thought of being subjected to such humiliation terrified her. Whoever the monitor is, please choose assignment 3. It's the best outcome for everyone. Class monitor Yu Wanqing suddenly stood up and shouted. Wang Zihan shot to her feet and pointed angrily at Yu Wanqing. What are you saying? You want me to bark like a dog in front of the whole class? It's better than dying or being publicly humiliated, another classmate retorted. Assignment 3 is clearly the most reasonable option. Though assignment 2 is also an option, some male students muttered among themselves. Li Na trembled, terrified the hidden monitor would pick assignment 2. She had never even been in a romantic relationship. She could not bear the thought of such public degradation. Why pick Huang Fan? Wang Zihan's best friend Zhao Ting stood up. Huang Fan, act like a man and do the pull-ups. Why should Teacher Li or Wang Zihan suffer public humiliation? Right? Can't a big guy like him manage pull-ups? A heavy-set girl with acne-covered cheeks added. Huang Fan stared helplessly at his own large frame, close to tears. I would do it if I possibly could. Su Yang spoke up angrily. Have you lost your minds? He's 300 Jin. His physical test scores are always terrible. 20 pull-ups are impossible for him. Jumping off the third floor would be easier. Also, 99% of guys cannot complete 20 standard pull-ups. Exactly. Those girls are basically pushing him toward death. Monitor, if you're female, pick assignment 1. Stick together with other women. If Huang Fan can't do the pull-ups, that's his own problem. Lots of guys can manage pull-ups even if you can't. This isn't about gender. He physically cannot complete that task. Choosing assignment 1 means executing him. Arguments erupted throughout the classroom. Gu Pingxing coldly observed, memorizing the girls pushing for assignment 1. Human cruelty was laid bare. Because Huang Fan was overweight and unpopular, others were willing to throw his life away. Both assignment 2 and 3 brought severe shame, but not certain death. An idea crossed Gu Pingxing's mind. The assignment descriptions never specified that other students needed to be present while the task was completed. Li Na or Wang Zihan could finish their tasks in private. There was no need for anyone to die. Yet many of his classmates were pushing for a fatal outcome. Without further hesitation, Gu Pingxing selected assignment 3. Crimson text appeared on the blackboard. Per the monitor's choice, today's assignment for Finance 1221 is assignment 3. The other 2 options faded away. Wang Zihan's face twisted with rage. The monitor must be a man. How disgusting. Why should I bark like a dog up there? Su Yang let out a bitter laugh. Assignment 3 is the least bad choice by far. You get to live, and you might even earn extra rewards. If it were me, I would get it over with. Several male classmates glared at Wang Zihan. Huang Jiahao stood, walked over to Wang Zihan, and slapped her hard across the face. The blow left her dazed. I won't tolerate divisive remarks like that. Speak like that again, and I will force you out into the open grounds for everyone to see. I get it, how go? Don't push me. Wang Zihan spoke weakly, meek as a lamb at that moment. She dared not provoke the class bullies, especially not in the current situation. She thought the law would offer no protection here. All right, Huang Jiahao. Be that as it may, violence is never the answer. Li Na cautioned from the side. Huang Jiahao returned to his seat, granting Li Na this favor. Though he wanted to become the de facto leader of the class, he understood that survival had only just begun. Both Li Na the counselor and Yi Wanqing the monitor still held real influence. That said, as time went on, their standing would fade if they lacked real strength of their own. Everyone, please step outside the classroom. Wang Zihan needs to finish her assignment. Let us give her some privacy instead of staring. Yi Wanqing stood up to take charge. Wang Zihan's eyes lit up. She had not thought of this solution, convinced she would be humiliated in front of the whole class. Why should we leave? Su Yang let out a cold snort. Wang Zihan said some pretty hostile things about us guys not long ago. Why on earth should we go outside? If I stay, does that mean she cannot finish her work? Exactly. She spouted all that nonsense about men and women. Why should we humor her? Shouted another male classmate. She owes us a public apology. We are not leaving until we get it, said Shinche slowly. Shinche's words drew surprised glances from everyone. Shinche was exceptionally capable. He had scored 660 in his senior year exams and was bound for a top tier 985 university. Yet poor application choices had cost him his spot and landed him at Yangqing University instead. Though Yangqing University was reputable, its finance major had an admission cutoff above 600 points. He had lost a full 60 points worth of placement. On top of that, he was a gifted science student. He had scored full marks in advanced mathematics, taken part in countless competitions, and won scholarships non-stop. Even as a freshman, he was already studying postgraduate-level material and served as the class study representative. Yet he was quiet and reserved, buried in books most of the time in class, with few close connections. So everyone was taken aback to hear him speak up. You guys are so unreasonable. Wang Zihan's temper flared, and she was about to snap back, only to meet Huang Jiahao's indifferent gaze. Helpless, she turned to Yi Wanqing for help. Yi Wanqing, however, nodded in agreement. They have a point. What you said was inappropriate. One thing leads to another. You ought to apologize to the boys in this class and to the newly elected class representative. Wang Zihan. Some girls sitting near her glared bitterly at Yi Wanqing. In their eyes, Yi Wanqing had betrayed the other girls. Luo Qingxue whispered, the monitor has really sound judgment. Objectivity and willingness to listen are her greatest strengths. Gu Pingxing replied, stay away from those overly confrontational girls. Now that normal rules no longer hold, there is no telling what they might do. Luo Qingxue, don't worry, Pingxing. I can't stand them either. I barely interact with them, not even as WeChat contacts. In the end, Wang Zihan offered an apology. Her voice was faint and her attitude reluctant. After several corrections from Su Yang, She finally delivered a superficially sincere apology. All classmates filed out of the classroom. Muffled cries echoed from inside the room. Wang Zihan has completed the class assignment. Reward. Every student receives 3 loaves of bread, 3 self-heating rice meals, for bottles of 500 milliliter water. Assignment grade, C. Wang Zihan additionally receives 1 bottle of 500 milliliter water. All rewards have been added to personal inventories. Wang Zihan stared in shock upon seeing her grade. All that noise inside the classroom had only earned her a C. Why had Gu Pingxing gotten an A yesterday? Resentment welled up inside her. A C. Rank evaluation barely set her apart from anyone else, granting her merely 1 extra bottle of water. That is what you get for clinging to your pride, Su Yang sneered. I think I understand how these assignments are judged now. This task forces you to endure public embarrassment. Your score depends largely on how much you can set aside your sense of shame. Since Wang Zihan did it behind closed doors with no audience, a C is actually quite generous. Shinche nodded. I have reached the same conclusion. If I took on this task, I would insist on the whole class watching. That would at least earn me an A. Attribute points are extremely valuable. Gu Pingxing got very lucky yesterday. Gu Pingxing thought their reasoning made sense. Assignments worked in different ways. One had to grasp exactly what each task tested. Physical challenges such as push, ups and pull, ups rewarded proper form and physical fitness. Shame-based assignments demanded the ability to let go of self-consciousness. Many students froze up from embarrassment during public speaking or when called on in class. To score highly on these tasks, one had to suppress embarrassment and steel one's mind. Gu Pingxing glanced at Su Yang. Su Yang was sharp-witted. Though his academic grades fell short of Shinche's, he excelled elsewhere. His physical test scores consistently hit above 95. He reached top 1,000 national rank and peaked at 2,400 match points in the mobile game he played. Gu Pingxing had queued with him before and seen just how skilled he was. Tall and handsome, Su Yang had no shortage of female admirers in class, yet he remained single with no dating rumors circulating. Wang Zihan walked out of the classroom looking utterly defeated. Only her closest friends comforted her. Everyone else paid her no mind. All right, today's assignment is done. Counselor Li, Monitor Yi, can we leave now? Huang Jiahao called out with a shrug. Lina snapped back to reality. She had prepared a whole speech about unity, waiting for outside rescue, and sensible decision-making. She had planned a long class meeting. Now, she wondered how much authority she still held. According to the school's survival rules, she was no different from the students now. Dismissed. Return here at this same time tomorrow for assignments. Lina gave a bitter smile. She still felt shaken. If the new class representative had picked a task forcing her onto the podium in humiliating circumstances, at the counselor's word, the students dispersed, most moving off in groups. A few left alone. Multiple factions had formed. Huang Jiahao led the largest group of 8 physically strong boys, sports students, and regular fitness enthusiasts alike. Gu Pingxing noticed their numbers had grown since the previous day. They must have recruited more members. Then there was Wang Zihan's group of 6 girls. Gu Pingxing felt uneasy. Huang Jiahao's gang was dangerous, but Wang Zihan's clique worried him more. He had angered Wang Zihan today. If her group found out he was the new class representative, he would be in real danger. A thought crossed his mind. Should he eliminate these toxic girls? He believed his talent gave him an edge. He could sneak up behind them with a blade. But he quickly dismissed the idea. Killing was wrong. He shook his head. They had not yet crossed that irreversible line. Another faction consisted of Su Yang and Shinche. Though from different dormitories, their 2 8-person dorm groups stuck close together. Most remaining students clustered by dormitory groups of 4. That included Gu Pingxing, Li Jian, Lu Chang, and Huang Tian. Group alliances brought safety in numbers. Beyond his roommates, Gu Pingxing hoped to recruit more allies. 3 girls occurred to him. With them, he could build the most powerful faction in the class. Lina the counselor, former monitor Yu Wanqing, and his childhood friend Luo Qingxue. With her powerful A-rank talent, bringing the 3 women on board would greatly boost their survival odds. Counselor and monitor status carried weight in the early survival phase, though their influence would erode with time. Gu Pingxing laid out his plan to his roommates. Lu Chang said, "That sounds smart, but how do we convince them to join?" Li Jian nodded. "We need to move fast. Other groups will try to win them over too." Huang Tian spoke up. "I know someone. My childhood friend Li Jie is an outstanding fighter. You all know him. He won boxing tournaments and knows practical combat techniques." Everyone pictured the tall, close, cropped boy in their class. He topped all physical assessments with a score of 108. Extra points were awarded for exceeding maximum standards in pull, ups, and long distance running, allowing him to surpass the nominal full score. His physical stats were extraordinary. Can you get him on our side? That would be huge, Gu Pingxing said. Huang Tian nodded. I will try, though I cannot guarantee success. The group split up. Gu Pingxing hurried to stop Yi Wanqing before she left. Yi Wanqing was not widely liked. Being monitor meant making unpopular calls. Wang Zihan's circle disliked her rigid attitude. Still, her sense of responsibility kept her moderately respected. Gu Pingxing. Yi Wanqing looked at him curiously. Gu Pingxing laid out the current situation and his goals. Yi Wanqing hesitated. I understand where you are coming from. Huang Jiahao messaged me yesterday with a similar offer. But their group is all boys, and I felt uncomfortable. I would consider joining if there were women in our faction. Gu Pingxing was surprised Huang Jiahao had moved so quickly. I plan to recruit Counselor Li and my friend Luo Qingxue. Yi Wanqing nodded. Very well. I will join. We can look out for one another. She had few friends of her own and valued the support. Speaking of Luo Qingxue, are you really just friends? She sits beside you almost every day, Yi Wanqing teased. Gu Pingxing gave vague replies and took his leave. Friends? He supposed so. They had only walked side by side on the playground for physical contact. Convincing Luo Qingxue proved simple. She agreed immediately upon hearing the proposal. Only Counselor Li Na remained. She had already left the main teaching building. Gu Pingxing messaged her on WeChat to state his intentions. Li Na, Gu Pingxing, I get what you want. But I would rather see all 42 students in our class stand united. Do you understand? Gu Pingxing, that is unrealistic. Today's trivial assignments already sparked conflict. Do you truly believe our class can unite? Li Na, I will keep trying, Pingxing. Seeing she would not budge, Gu Pingxing gave up. Perhaps she clung to her identity as a counselor. Perhaps another group had already approached her. Gu Pingxing understood. You cannot force cooperation. Gaining Yi Wanqing and Luo Qingxue was already a solid victory. Luo Qingxue's ranked talent, along with his own, would stay hidden for now. Talents would inevitably come to light as assignments grew harder. A heavy atmosphere hung over the campus. Shouting and fighting echoed from other classrooms. Some students jumped from windows. One hit the ground below, blood spilling across the pavement. These were the consequences of failing assignments. Gu Pingxing glanced away, suppressing his nausea. Instead of returning to the dorm, he headed for the playground. His stats stood at 12 constitution and 12 stamina. He wondered whether physical training could raise these numerical attributes. If exercise improved his stats, he would push himself hard. Physical strength meant everything. He finished training around noon and went back to his dorm. He brewed instant noodles. Electricity still ran in the building, powering kettles even though the campus was cut off from the outside world. He did not question it. Food came first. In the afternoon, Huang Tian brought good news. Li Jie had agreed to join. Huang Jiahao had also tried to recruit him, but Li Jie had weighed his options and chosen Gu Pingxing's faction. 7 people now formed their team. Gu Pingxing set up a private chat group for quick communication. Their core rule was to help one another when trouble arose. Seeing Li Jie in the group chat, Yi Wanqing felt reassured, knowing they had the class's strongest physical performer even without Counselor Li Na. The rest of the day passed quietly. Gu Pingxing consumed 2 bottles of water, 2 instant noodle servings, and saved 1 compressed biscuit for the next morning. Early the next day, the system broadcast news of more students who had broken rules and died. Fewer names appeared this time. Almost everyone across the campus now obeyed the rules. This marked the final day of the novice protection period. Gu Pingxing's group walked to class while eating dry bread washed down with water. He checked his inventory. Thanks to doubled rewards from completing the first day assignments, his supplies remained ample. Inventory: compressed biscuits times 5, instant noodles times 4, 500 ml water times 10, bread times 2, self-heating rice meals times 3. Gu Pingxing hoped he would be selected for an assignment today to earn more supplies. Most classmates had already arrived in the classroom. Their expressions ranged from numb to despairing. Campus chat feeds told horrifying stories of assignments across grades. One task required jumping from a 3rd-floor window. Some survived with broken limbs, others died instantly. Rewards awaited those who succeeded, yet failure meant death. Most students hoped to avoid being picked and let others complete assignments so everyone could collect group rewards. Gu Pingxing, over here. Luo Qingxue waved. Yi Wanqing sat beside her. Gu Pingxing walked over. His roommates and the tall, close, cropped Li Jie sat behind them. Groups clustered together throughout the room. Huang Jiahao's faction, Wang Zihan's girls, Su Yang and Xin Che's circle, and Gu Pingxing's team. For major blocks dominated the 42 student class plus Counselor Lina, who stood solemnly beside the podium. Everyone waited for the assignment prompt. It appeared unpredictably. Some classes got tasks early in the morning, others not until noon or night. They could only wait inside the classroom. Suddenly, commotion echoed in the hallway. A male student burst in clutching a small knife. "What are you doing?" Lina warned, alert. Without hesitation, the boy lunged toward her, blade aimed at her body. Lina dodged quickly and kicked at his stomach. The attacker staggered but renewed his assault. She circled the podium to evade him. Gu Pingsheng, Huang Jiahao, and Li Jie stood at once, joined by many other boys. Sitting near the front, Gu Pingsheng grabbed a stool and charged forward. Empowered by his talent, he felt no fear. He kicked the attacker hard in the torso, struck his head repeatedly with the stool while he reeled and wrestled the knife away. "What do you think you are doing?" Gu Pingsheng demanded coldly. Huang Jiahao and the others closed in and subdued the struggling student. Several boys kicked him. It was clear he had intended to harm someone. "I had no choice." The boy groaned in pain. "I am from Class 2, Finance. Our newly elected representative assigned a task. Kill one person from Class 1 within 10 minutes. Student or counselor, anyone. I did it because I did not want to die." "So you're going to kill me? Do you have any idea who I am?" Lina was both shocked and furious, overcome with fear. If Gu Pingsheng hadn't shown up in time, she would have undoubtedly lost her life. "You're the head teacher of Class 1, but so what? Can you fix the mess our school is in? Can you? If killing you lets me survive, why shouldn't I kill you?" the boy shouted. "Enough. You commit assault and still act so brazenly. Do you really think no one in our class can stop you? If I were you, I would try to lure one of your classmates out instead of charging in openly with a knife. Anyone can tell exactly what you intend to do." Huang Jiahao slapped the boy hard across the face and then let out a cold snort. Just then, quite a few students from the adjacent Finance Class 2 filed out of their classroom and gathered in the doorway to watch the scene unfold. Chun Han failed. I knew his scrawny frame could never finish this assignment. Is the new class monitor some kind of maniac? Why did he pick this assignment? Chun Han is doomed. He must be. There were clearly far better assignments to choose from earlier. Students from Finance Class 2 whispered among themselves outside. 10 minutes quickly passed. Chun Han, who had been restrained by the crowd, suddenly broke free with enormous strength. Even Li Jie could no longer hold him down. "What the hell?" Li Jie stared in bewilderment, confused how Chun Han had gained such immense power. Sensing danger, Gu Pingsheng stepped several paces backward. Chun Han gave the group an eerie grin. He raised his small knife and sliced it straight across his own neck. He cut through an artery, and blood gushed out like a fountain. Everyone froze in horror. Several people standing at the front were splattered with warm blood. No way this is happening. Even fearless Huang Jiahao felt chills run down his spine. Chun Han had looked as though he were possessed by something evil just moments before. Panic swept over every single person. This was the first time they had witnessed death up close. Screams from the girls rang out one after another. "Chun Han's dead. We need to get out of here." Sigh. The onlooking students from Class 2 soon returned to their own classroom. Everyone else shuffled back to their seats, stunned and numb from what they had just seen. Luo Qingxue tugged at Gu Pingsheng's sleeve, her face drained of all color. "It's better he's dead than one of our classmates." Gu Pingsheng was the first to break the heavy silence. "Were we supposed to stand by and let him murder our head teacher?" Yi Wanqing spoke up in agreement. "That's right. None of you should carry this weight on your conscience. He brought this on himself. Are we supposed to let students from another class bully our own people? That makes sense, but seeing someone die right in front of me, it's still terrifying," one classmate muttered quietly. Right at that moment, a notification chimed beside Gu Pingsheng's ear. At the same instant, bright red text materialized across the blackboard. The third-day assignment had arrived. "Class Monitor Gu Pingsheng, please select your class's assignment for today. Assignment 1. Su Lu and Tan Lily play rock, paper, scissors. The winner completes the assignment. The loser dies. Penalty for loser or incomplete assignment: erasure. Assignment 2. Shin Che and Long Hai play a game of Chinese chess. The winner completes the assignment. The loser dies. Penalty for loser or incomplete assignment: erasure. Assignment 3. Either Yi Wanqing or Luo Qingxue jumps from the 6th floor building. Penalty for incomplete assignment: erasure." The three assignments left everyone dumbfounded. Gu Pingsheng was equally stunned. No matter which option he picked, someone was going to die. Damn this so-called heavenly will. How could things turn out like this? He quickly composed himself. Panic was a luxury he could not afford, and he must not let others see his inner turmoil. As the one making the calls, he had to choose the option best for their group. "What do we do? Don't pick me. I don't want to die. Tin Lily broke down first. She had never imagined she would be named in one of the assignments. Class monitor, I beg you. Please don't choose assignment 1. I don't want to die. Tin Lily pleaded desperately. She bit her lip and went on. If you spare me, I will do anything I can to help you out. Long Hai was thrown into utter chaos. Though he knew a little about Chinese chess, there was still a real chance he could lose, and losing meant death. His opponent was Xin Che, the top student in their class. How could he possibly win? New class monitor, I don't care who you are. Don't pick assignment 2. People die in that one. Pick assignment 3 instead. Jumping off a building doesn't guarantee instant death. If you pick assignment 2, I will find out who you are, and I'll get back at you, he roared. Huang Jiahao stared in disbelief. He could not believe how foolish Long Hai was acting. That's the 6th floor, Long Hai. Yi Wanqing shouted. So what? I'm not dying. If someone has to die, let it be you. Long Hai yelled back at Yi Wanqing, growing more and more agitated. Huang Jiahao covered his face, unable to bear watching the scene. A faint smile tugged at Gu Pingxing's lips. His moral hesitation faded away. Assignment 2 was clearly the optimal choice. Besides, Long Hai had crossed him before. A dangerous glint flashed in Gu Pingxing's eyes. This power over his classmates' fates was disturbingly intoxicating. Whenever someone wronged him, if an assignment involved them, he could simply make them pay. It felt thrilling in a twisted way. I choose assignment 2. Gu Pingxing said inside his mind. The red characters on the blackboard shifted. Only assignment 2 remained displayed. Xin Che and Long Hai were now required to carry out the task. In the next moment, a complete Chinese chess set materialized out of thin air on the podium. Xin Che, Long Hai, complete the assignment within 30 minutes. All right, Long Hai. Looks like your outburst angered the hidden new monitor. Let's get this over with. Xin Che stood up, his expression calm. I'm not playing this stupid game. I refuse to die. Show yourself, new monitor. I'll destroy you. Long Hai shouted furiously. Xin Che shrugged. Refuse to play, and both of us get erased. Then we'll both die together. Long Hai snapped. You're the smart top student in our class. Why should I fight you alone? If we both die, at least I take you with me. Xin Che was caught off guard. He had not expected that response. How shameless can you be? You want to drag an innocent person down with you? Yi Wanqing shouted angrily. Long Hai strode forward, grabbed a chair, and advanced toward Yi Wanqing. But Li Jie stepped between them, shielding Yi Wanqing. Get out of my way. Enraged and irrational, Long Hai swung the chair straight at Li Jie. Li Jie caught the chair mid-swing. He wrestled it out of Long Hai's grip and tossed it aside. He then drove a hard fist into Long Hai's nose. Long Hai stumbled backward several paces. The force of the blow was obvious. Only then did he snap back to his senses. Li Jie was an even better fighter than Huang Jiahao. He had acted recklessly. Li Jie closed the distance in an instant and landed a front kick, sending Long Hai crashing onto the floor. Long Hai curled over, clutching his stomach and coughing violently in agony. I can't just stand by and watch this. Huang Jiahao and several of his allies rose and stood in front of Long Hai. The lot of you are no match for me, Li Jie stated flatly. Huang Jiahao narrowed his eyes. I know you fight well, but can you take all 7 of us at once? Numbers mean nothing to me, Li Jie replied coolly. At that critical moment, Gu Pingxing and his 3 roommates stood up and moved to Li Jie's side. Yi Wanqing and Luo Qingxue joined them too. Even Luo Qingxue's 3 roommates rose to stand with the group. Though only 5 girls, they stood loyally by their allies. Tensions flared, and Huang Jiahao's side was now outnumbered. Li Na watched anxiously, unsure what she could possibly do to stop the looming brawl. Everyone, listen for a second. Xin Che pushed through the crowd and waved his hands. Time is running short. Jiahao, you are a reasonable person. Don't you think Long Hai has gone too far? If he keeps resisting, he is certain to die. Why not let him fight for a chance to survive? Besides, I barely know how to play Chinese chess. There is no guarantee Long Hai will lose, Xin Che pressed urgently. 30 minutes was all they had. Refusing to play meant death for both of them. Huang Jiahao hauled Long Hai to his feet. Go play chess with him. Resist, and you die for sure. Long Hai got up and eyed Xin Che suspiciously. Is what you said true? You really hardly know how to play. I only understand the most basic rules, Xin Che answered. If you know the full set of strategies, your odds of winning are quite high. Long Hai nodded. Fine, I'll play. But if I find out you lied to me, you'll regret it. Hurry up. If we run out of time, we both die. Xin Che shrugged. The two walked over to either side of the chessboard on the podium. All the pieces were already set, ready for play. Long Hai rushed to take the red side, which moved first and held a slight advantage. A crowd gathered around to watch. Long Hai made the opening move. Several rounds went by, Long Hai captured many of Shin Che's pieces, one chariot, two cannons, and two pawns. He held a massive lead. Just as Shin Che had claimed, he really did seem inexperienced. Relief washed over Long Hai, and he grew smug. Shin Che, you're brilliant in class and top of every exam, yet you can't even play chess properly. Shin Che gave a bitter smile. You flatter me. My grades come from endless hours buried in books at the library. I'm nothing but a bookworm. I'm certainly no genius when it comes to actual quick thinking. Gu Pingxing shot Shin Che a strange look. He exchanged a quick glance with Su Yang, another student in Shin Che's circle. On the surface, Su Yang looked worried, but Gu Pingxing caught a flicker of amusement in his eyes. Shin Che was far more complicated than he pretended to be. Damn right you are. If you were truly smart, you wouldn't be stuck at Yang University. Ha ha, just a boring bookworm. You had me scared for nothing earlier, Long Hai taunted, pressing his attack aggressively. Shin Che stayed on the defensive for a long stretch. Gradually, however, the tide began to shift. Long Hai lost both of his horses and one of his chariots. All he had left were one chariot and two cannons. Long Hai's horses are gone, one student whispered. The game entered the endgame phase. Cannons lost much of their power here, since they needed intermediate pieces to strike from afar, and few pieces remained on the board. Horses grew much stronger instead. With fewer pieces blocking their paths, they could move freely. In the opening, cannons outmatched horses. In the endgame, horses dominated. Checkmate. You lose, Long Hai. You got careless, Shin Che announced. He had staged a complete comeback. Early on, he had intentionally sacrificed his two cannons to make Long Hai overconfident. Step by step, he turned the tables, taking both of Long Hai's horses and chariots. Trapped with only cannons left on an empty board, Long Hai had no way to fight back. No. How is this possible? I was winning so handily at the start. Long Hai stared blankly, his mind reeling. He laughed bitterly. You lied to me. You said you barely knew chess, yet you crushed me. I truly only know the basic rules, Shin Che said, remaining alert. He worried Long Hai might snap and lash out. Boss, please stay alive. Yu Wanqing, Li Jia, everyone. I'm sorry for all the trouble I've caused. Long Hai grabbed Huang Jiahao's arm with his last ounce of strength. Blood started trickling from all 7 of his facial orifices. His body went limp against Huang Jiahao, and life left him. Huang Jiahao held Long Hai's lifeless body in his arms, his face icy and unreadable, lost in thought. Foolish and reckless as Long Hai had often been, he was still his subordinate and friend. Curse this damned heavenly will. Huang Jiahao gasped through gritted teeth, shouting his rage. He lifted Long Hai's corpse and turned to carry it out of the classroom. The body vanishes automatically in half an hour. There's no need for you to trouble yourself, Shin Che commented. Shut up, Huang Jiahao roared. His other followers filed out behind him, grief-stricken. One of them pointed angrily at Shin Che. I want to hurt you. I know this whole situation was forced upon everyone, but your victory is what killed him. And to that hidden new monitor. If we ever find out who it is, we won't let them get away with this. Shin Che did not argue. Provoking them further in their grief would only spark more violence. Calm yourselves. Shin Che was only fighting to survive. Su Yang frowned and tried to mediate. A notification sounded in every student's ear. Shin Che has completed the class assignment. Reward. Every student receives 3 whole wheat bread loaves, for bottles of 500 milliliter water, 3 packaged chicken breast portions. Assignment grade. B. Shin Che receives double the above rewards. Rewards have been placed in personal backpacks. Shin Che was surprised to receive a B grade. He wondered what criteria determined scoring. Perhaps completion time? Long Hai had wasted plenty of time, refusing to cooperate. Shin Che had also dragged out the chess match on purpose, afraid a quick, crushing defeat would push Long Hai to give up entirely. Sport-related assignments really did seem simpler, Shin Che thought to himself silently. Gu Pingxing had gotten lucky with the very first task. He hoped future assignments assigned to him would be similarly straightforward. The rest of the class shared that sentiment. The food rewards were barely enough to scrape by. More supplies would mean greater safety. It was only a matter of time before some student failed an assignment. The assignment's finished. Let's get out of here, someone called. The classroom emptied quickly. Gu Pingxing prepared to leave as well, but head teacher Li Na stepped in his path. What's wrong, teacher Li Na? Pingxing, I've made up my mind. I want to join your group, Li Na said helplessly. You don't need to call me teacher anymore. Just call me Li Na. Let us look out for one another, all right? Fear had changed her completely. Even as a head teacher, she possessed no special privileges in this cruel school. Students from other classes had threatened her with a knife, showing her zero respect. Without Gu Pingxing's intervention earlier, she would have died. Welcome to our team, Li Na, Gu Pingxing nodded. Remember, threats can come from anywhere. Huang Jiahao's faction, other classes. Our only goal is to stick together and stay alive. Thank you, Pingsheng. Li Na forced a faint smile. She pulled a self-heating rice meal out of her personal backpack and held it out to him. What's this for? Gu Pingxing hesitated but accepted it. This is my thanks for saving me. And I hope I can count on your support going forward, Li Na said, looking distinctly uncomfortable. She was either still shaken from the attack or embarrassed to curry favor with a former student. Gu Pingxing went to the playground and jogged to exercise, his mind still reeling. The once authoritative head teacher was now seeking his goodwill. He understood her motives. She valued the strength of their faction, especially Li Jieya, the best fighter in the whole class. After 2 hours of training, he returned to the dormitory and ate lunch. He added Li Na to their private group chat. He considered inviting Luo Qingshue's 3 roommates too, but decided against it. Their group was already large enough. More members did not always mean greater safety. Evening rolled around. Gu Pingxing ate dinner, took a short walk, and headed back to the dormitory before 10 o'clock. Another system alert chimed beside his ear. The novice protection period ends tomorrow. New rules will take effect. 1. Tomorrow will be designated as Monday. A 7-day weekly cycle begins. Regular class assignments occur Monday through Friday, 1 per day. Saturday brings a joint team-based class assignment once per week. Sunday is a rest day. No assignments are issued. Students may move freely across campus. 2. Between 2200 hours and 6 o'clock, treasure chests will randomly appear in corners of the campus. Chests contain supplies or special use items. 3. Killing another class's hidden new monitor guarantees a random rank talent. New monitors must take extreme care to conceal their identities. 4. True campus survival mode activates. Mobile phones lose all signal. All external communication must take place through the campus chat channel or private messages. Best wishes for your campus life. Study hard, improve yourselves, and fight to stay alive. Gu Pingxing's expression turned grave. So many major changes would kick in tomorrow. A formal weekly schedule, team assignments on Saturdays, rest days on Sundays. Most critically, new monitors became assassination targets. If he killed another class's monitor, would he gain an additional talent too? And then there were the nighttime treasure chests. Between 10 at night and 6 in the morning, hostile entities roamed the campus. They killed anyone caught outside dormitories or classrooms after curfew. Yet treasure chests would also spawn during those dangerous hours. Gu Pingxing's heart raced. Could his talent shine in this new environment? Using his phasing invisibility ability, nothing could detect him. He could evade monsters and hunt for treasure chests alone. This was his chance to pull far ahead of every other student. At 10 p.m., after saying goodnight to Luo Qingxue, Gu Pingxing lay on his bed, his mind racing. The Heavenly Tao had stated that Monday would officially begin the next day, so the treasure chest would most likely appear the following night. Still, he needed to test things tonight to verify his theory and see if he could evade the horrifying creatures using void concealment. It was extremely risky, yet those terrifying beings ought to be unable to detect him while the skill was active. Besides the main teaching building, second teaching building and third teaching building housed numerous classrooms, all designated safe zones. If he ran out of stamina on his way back, he could take shelter in one of the classrooms. Snoring echoed from his roommates one after another. Gu Pingxing knew they had fallen asleep. He activated his talent, void concealment, with a thought. In an instant, Gu Pingxing turned invisible and his body grew ethereal. He slipped out from under his bed, passed through the dormitory wall, and stepped into the hallway. A strange, icy, cool sensation washed over him. His stamina drained rapidly. Gu Pingxing could only maintain this state for roughly 20 minutes, so he had to toggle the skill on and off. What did toggling mean? He would alternate between activating void concealment and deactivating it, sitting down to rest and recover stamina whenever possible. This was the most efficient approach. Night had fallen, and not a soul roamed the dormitory hallway. Once outside his dorm room, Gu Pingxing deactivated void concealment. I am in the boys' dormitory hallway, not inside a dorm room. This must violate the rules. It won't be long before something horrifying comes for me. Gu Pingxing leaned against the dormitory wall, thinking to himself. The dorm room lay on the other side of the wall. If any threat appeared, he could dart straight back inside. Time ticked by. Though it was early spring, the night wind carried a chill, and Gu Pingxing wore only thin pajamas. Nothing dangerous showed up. He drew a conclusion. Venturing outside brought danger, yet danger was not guaranteed. With good luck, one could avoid roaming monsters entirely. Just as drowsiness crept over Gu Pingxing, and he prepared to return to bed, strange footsteps echoed down the hallway. Thud, thud, thud. The rhythm was steady, unlike any human gait. Gu Pingxing held his breath. His room was 303 on the third floor. Something was moving through the corridor. The footsteps drew nearer. At the stairwell appeared a tall masked man wielding a scarlet axe. A heavy stench of rot clung to his frame. Your sanity drops by 2 points. Current sanity, 11. Upon laying eyes on the abomination, Gu Pingxing's sanity plummeted. His expression shifted. So this was what sanity governed. The axe-wielding man spotted Gu Pingxing outside room 303, roared, and charged forward. Almost instantly, Gu Pingxing activated void concealment. The axeman froze, his target vanishing. They stood mere feet apart. Gu Pingxing grimaced at the overwhelming stench of rotting flesh baked under the sun. He could even spot maggots crawling across the man's body. This is definitely no living human. Gu Pingxing thought to himself. What was it then? A ghost? Ghosts truly existed in this world. Shock and fear surged through Gu Pingxing. But then again, trapped in this eerie survival school scenario, ghosts felt almost reasonable. The masked axeman departed, unable to locate the ethereal Gu Pingxing. Gu Pingxing's sanity stopped dropping once the threat moved away. It seemed sanity only decreased upon first encountering a monster or vengeful spirit. A faint smile tugged at Gu Pingxing's lips. His gamble had paid off. Void concealment worked. From now on, all the school's treasure chests would be his. Joy swelled inside him. He had once assumed his talent would be of little use early on, yet it gave him a chance to grow powerful right from the start. I will be the one who survives until the end. Gu Pingxing's eyes hardened with resolve. He would escape this school, return home, and reunite with his parents and siblings. Back in his dorm bed, his stamina sat at merely 3 points, having depleted 1 point during his excursion. He drifted off to sleep soon afterward. The next morning, Gu Pingxing woke naturally. Both stamina and sanity had fully restored. Rest appeared to replenish both stats. Voices drifted up from below his bunk. Huang Tian's voice trembled with fear. Guys, did anyone else hear a monster roar last night? Lu Chang nodded. I heard it. That must be one of those roaming night creatures. Li Jian said. I just checked the group chat. A few other students also heard strange roars after dark. The campus is deadly at night. Nobody should step outside. Gu Pingxing climbed down from the upper bunk with a calm expression. He knew exactly what had caused the noise. He had drawn the axe-wielding creature the night before. He kept this fact to himself. Come on, everyone. It's Monday. We have to head to class for our assignments. The other 3 followed behind him. The classroom hung heavy with gloom. Many girls sat pale and trembling, overcome by terror. Boys fared slightly better, yet no one was free from the fear of death. Finance class 1 had more female than male students, over 20 girls, and just more than 10 boys, typical for a finance major. Good morning, Pingxing. Did you sleep well? Luo Qingxue looked up at him. Fine, Gu Pingxing replied. That's good. Would you mind jogging with me on the playground today? Luo Qingxue asked hopefully. I saw you exercising there yesterday. Gu Pingxing was surprised. Sure. Count me in too. I need to build up my physical fitness. Yi Wanqing called out from nearby. Luo Qingxue froze. She opened her mouth to speak, but held back, looking visibly displeased. It was no wonder Yi Wanqing struggled to get along with others. Her social awareness left much to be desired. At that moment, Li Na walked into the classroom, looking deeply troubled, and took a seat beside Gu Pingxing and his friends. All the classmates stared in surprise. Both the monitor and the student advisor were part of Gu Pingxing's group. Nearly 8 o'clock arrived. Most students had filed into the room. Li Na counted heads and frowned as she stood up. Everyone, we are missing one classmate. What? Missing someone? Could it be Long Hai? He's already dead. Advisor, are you certain? Su Yang spoke gravely. We are indeed short one person. Including Teacher Li, there should be 43 of us. Only 40, 1 are present now, and the missing one is male. After checking carefully, they confirmed the missing student was Zhao Ming, a quiet boy who rarely drew notice. Only Li Na's habit of taking attendance had revealed his absence. Does anyone know Zhao Ming's roommate? What happened? Li Na asked. Advisor, Zhao Ming lived in off-campus housing, a classmate answered. Many university students resided in external apartments and had no dorm mates. Suddenly, the classroom door crashed open. A group of students from finance class 2 stormed inside. At their lead was a stout young man covered in acne and facial blemishes, Liang, the most unpopular student from the neighboring class. He was disliked not only for his appearance and poor hygiene, but also for his inappropriate remarks toward girls. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the new monitor of class 2, Liang sneered. His gaze swept over the girls in the room before landing on Li Na, a flicker of admiration crossing his face. Shock rippled through the whole room. The new monitor of Class 2 had openly revealed his identity. No one understood why he had come to their classroom. Gu Pingxing's pupils constricted before he regained his composure. If Liang truly was the new monitor, could killing him grant a new talent? Yet exposing himself so boldly meant only two possibilities. He was reckless, or he possessed an immensely powerful talent. Li Na felt deeply uncomfortable under Liang's stare. Liang, you are Class 2's new monitor? She forced out. Why reveal yourself like this? What do you want with us? Heh, what's there to fear? Liang laughed. I came to tell you all. I killed Zhao Ming. Anger erupted across the classroom. Multiple students stood up, including Gu Pingxing, Huang Jiahao, Su Yang, and Li Jie. Huang Jiahao narrowed his eyes and shouted, You killed Zhao Ming? What for? What did he ever do to you? Liang chuckled. One of your students killed one of ours yesterday. This is simple retribution. Everyone recalled Chen Han, who had broken into their classroom the previous day. Li Na shook with rage. Chen Han tried to kill me. This was one of the assigned tasks. There is no justification for this. So what? Liang jeered. Why couldn't you just let yourself be killed? If not for you, Chen Han would still be alive. I am avenging him. He can rest in peace now. You monster. Huang Jiahao grabbed a chair and charged forward, only to be blocked by Su Yang. What are you doing? Huang Jiahao snapped. Are we just going to let them bully us? He likely wields a powerful talent. Acting recklessly will get us hurt, Su Yang said calmly. Huang Jiahao calmed down. Since Liang had openly declared his position, he must have some form of protection. Haha, smart man. Liang laughed. Still unsure what talents Class 1 students held, he avoided pushing too far. Part of his motive for provoking them was to uncover the identity of Class 1's hidden monitor. If he found out who it was, he might kill them to seize their talent. So far, the hidden monitor had not shown themselves. Listen up. Class 2 is under my rule now. I am the strongest in our class, and soon I will dominate this entire school. Any attractive girls from Class 1 who wish to join my side should come forward soon, or there will be no place left. His eyes lingered over the female students, especially Li Na. With that, Liang and his followers swaggered away. We cannot let this slide, Su Yang said. What if we post information about Class 2's new monitor in the school chat channel? Someone is bound to take action against him. A girl spoke nervously. What if he retaliates against us? Do we just let him walk all over us? Huang Jiahao fumed. Gu Pingxing, Su Yang, our groups could corner Liang together. I doubt he can fight all of us at once. Li Jie said. We cannot act before we understand his true strength. Let's go with Su Yang's plan. Post the intelligence in the chat, Shen Che suggested. Huang Jiahao backed down, though his eyes glinted. He knew many upper-grade students and had connections of his own. Noon arrived. Monday's class assignment finally appeared. Today is Monday. Monitor Gu Pingxing, please select your class's assignment. Assignment 1. Starting now, Su Yang may not eat or drink anything. Assessment will take place at midnight. Failure penalty, erasure. Assignment 2. Gu Pingxing must kill one classmate. Failure penalty, erasure. Assignment 3. Xing Rong must run 100 laps on the playground. Failure penalty, erasure. Silence fell over the classroom as everyone read the assignments. They were not as horrific as yesterday's options, yet assignments 2 and 3 were impossible to choose. One demanded murder, the other forced a young girl to complete a marathon, which would surely kill her. Su Yang spoke up. In this situation, we have to pick assignment 1 for me. The others agreed. Going without food for a single day is manageable. New monitor, choose Su Yang's task. Gu Pingxing selected assignment 1. From then on, Su Yang could consume neither food nor water until midnight to complete the task. Fortunately, he had eaten breakfast. He would simply skip lunch and delay dinner. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Some even envied his relatively easy task. Su Yang, however, pondered the grading criteria. Would simply enduring hunger be enough for a high evaluation? Going without food and water tested willpower. How could he make the heavenly Tao recognize his resolve? Perhaps fixed tasks have fixed rewards regardless of performance, Shen Che commented. In the morning, Gu Pingxing jogged on the playground alongside Luo Qingxue and Yi Wanqing. The two girls panted heavily behind him. Gu Pingxing kept his pace slow at a 6-minute per kilometer pace to accommodate them. After 3 kilometers, Gu Pingxing stopped. The girls gasped for breath, thoroughly exhausted. Even at such a slow pace, 3 kilometers was brutal for people who rarely exercised. I can't go on, Pingxing. I'm worn out, Luo Qingxue panted. Gu Pingxing laughed awkwardly. Don't phrase it like that. It sounds misleading. Yi Wanqing sighed. Thank goodness we didn't get the assignment to make that girl run 100 laps. I'm already exhausted after nearly 8 laps. Gu Pingxing said. We all need to improve our physical fitness. University students are often out of shape. We only have one physical education class a week. In this strange school, many assignments will demand physical stamina. We will survive better if we build up our bodies. You're right, Yi Wanqing replied. How about we come here to train every day after finishing our assignments? Luo Qingxue pouted, unable to think of a polite refusal. Gu Pingxing turned toward her. What about you, Qingxue? I'm fine with it too. Luo Qingxue answered quickly. The three agreed to train daily after completing assignments, practicing pull-ups, push-ups, and other exercises. No one knew what physically demanding tasks the school would assign next. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Liang walked along a secluded campus path accompanied by 2 female students from his class. The girls were visibly reluctant, forced to keep him company. As Class 2's new monitor, Liang ruled openly. He had announced his position the night before. Male classmates had become his followers, while female classmates were pressured to obey his demands. Unlike other secretive monitors, he made no attempt to hide his power. Anyone who defied him faced unfair assignments or brute force. News of him had spread across the school chat, and Liang welcomed his notoriety. Please, can we go back to the dorm or the classroom? One girl named Xiaoru trembled. Call me Monitor, Liang ordered. Why yes, Monitor. Liang smiled coldly. No, Xiaoru. If you resist, your boyfriend will die. Do you understand? Xiaoru shook all over in terror. Just then, a large group rounded the corner. 15 tall, muscular boys wearing the varsity basketball team uniforms advanced, wielding sticks and blades. They were second-year basketball team members. A newly appointed monitor abusing his power to mistreat fellow students, said Captain Sun Haoran. So soon someone comes for me. Liang chuckled. New talents really do make people greedy. I am Sun Haoran, captain of the second-year basketball team. Sun Haoran declared sternly. I cannot stand by and watch people in power bully others. Don't make me laugh. Are you trying to tell me you're picking a fight with me out of a desire to uphold justice? Liang said. Cut the nonsense. If killing me brought you no benefit, would you risk your neck to attack me? You hypocrite. Sun Haoran stood at the back of the crowd. His eyes narrowed into slits as a cold smirk tugged at his lips. He suddenly raised an arm, pointed straight at Liang, and shouted loudly. Everyone move. Grab your weapons and kill him. Whoever takes his life will inherit his talent. Sun Haoran's followers had been hesitant and fearful, but the moment the word talent reached their ears, their eyes lit up. This was no ordinary prize. Some powerful talents were comparable to superpowers. Was their leader really willing to give it up to them? They had assumed Sun Haoran would let them beat Liang half to death before landing the finishing blow himself. It seemed their leader was far more generous than they thought. After a brief moment of silence, greed overwhelmed their reason. Several impatient followers charged forward first. Some pulled gleaming kitchen knives from their waists, while others seized sticks and steel pipes picked up along the road, rushing straight toward Liang Dai, freshman. At the front of the charge was Zhao Meng, a towering basketball player standing nearly 1.9 meters tall. He was known for bulldozing his way across the basketball court, unopposed by anyone, and now he unleashed all that brutal ferocity. He gripped a baseball bat as thick as an adult's arm, a vicious grin spreading across his face. Zhao Meng could already picture Liang's broken body. Scared stiff, freshman junior. Zhao Meng jeered as he sprinted. In his eyes, Liang's motionless form meant he was paralyzed by terror. He had seen countless new students like this. They acted arrogant on ordinary days, but when faced with a life or death struggle, they could barely stand. The other followers charged close behind him, excitement burning in their eyes. Each one wondered who would land the killing blow. A talent was an opportunity to rewrite one's fate, especially within this deadly campus survival game. Yet Liang remained completely still as the bat whistled toward him. Bang! The baseball bat crashed squarely into the top of Liang's head. Zhao Meng's triumphant smile froze on his face the very next second. Blazing flames erupted where the bat made contact with Liang's scalp. An overwhelming wave of scorching heat surged out from within Liang's body. Crimson fire raced rapidly along the length of the bat. The solid wooden bat sizzled in the flames, and the fire spread onto Zhao Meng's forearms. Stung by the heat, Zhao Meng hastily let go of the weapon. What is this? Zhao Meng stared wide-eyed, staring in disbelief at his empty hands. Liang slowly lifted his head. Calm eyes now blazed with the same fire flickering around his fists. A cruel smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. You struck first. That means it's my turn now. Liang clenched his right fist. Roaring flames burst forth, wrapping his entire fist in a dazzling ball of fire. the air filled with the stench of burning. Liang threw a simple punch, slamming it hard into Zhao Meng's chest. Boom! Flames erupted and spread wildly across Zhao Meng's body. His thin t-shirt turned to ash in an instant. The fire seared his skin, burrowed into his pores, and ignited his hair. Zhao Meng let out a blood-curdling scream, rolling frantically across the ground like a burning human torch. Help! Somebody help me! He flailed wildly, trying to beat out the flames, but the fire seemed alive. Far from dying out, it burned hotter and hotter. The sickening odor of charred flesh hung thick in the air. Zhao Meng's screams grew hoarse, then fell silent. Zhao Meng was dead. The remaining charging followers were terrified out of their wits by the horrific sight. They skidded to an abrupt halt, their weapons clattering to the ground. One after another, their faces drained of color, their legs trembling beneath them. Standing in the rear, Sun Haoran's smug expression twisted into shock. Was this Liang's talent? Thankfully, he had sent his subordinates to test the waters first. Run! Sun Haoran shouted, turning to flee. Whoever falls behind becomes the target. At his command, all his followers took off running. Liang wanted to give chase, but he was already running low on stamina. Every powerful talent demanded stamina to activate, and Liang's ability was no exception. To make matters worse, his base physique and stamina stats were naturally low. Physique capped at 8, stamina at 7. He let out a cold snarl, swung his fist, and hurled a fireball. The fireball swallowed one slower follower, claiming another victim. Run for your lives. It was not long before all the attackers vanished. Only 2 trembling female students remained behind Liang. So this is the power of a grade A talent, huh? Liang chuckled quietly. He reveled in this overwhelming strength. But dizziness washed over him moments later, and he nearly stumbled. His stamina had dropped to only 3. Such a destructive talent came at a steep cost. Great offensive power always carried heavy limitations. Both of you, help me up and take me back somewhere. Where are we going? Does it matter? Any dormitory will do. Just take me to a girl's dormitory to rest. Liang spoke with a calculating grin. 8 o'clock in the evening. All mobile phone signals had vanished. Everyone relied on the game panel's public chat channels and private messages to communicate. Gu Pingxing had exchanged private message contacts with his friends and acquaintances. He was also part of a small group chat. His 3 roommates, Li Jie, 3 female students, Counselor Li Na, Yi Wanqing, and Luo Qingxue, 8 people in total. Beyond private groups, there was a school-wide public channel and a class chat channel. Right then, Huang Jiahao sent a message in the class group. Huang Jiahao, I've got the information. Liang, the new monitor of Class 2 Finance, has the talent of flame manipulation. That immense power is where his arrogance comes from. Suyang at Huang Jiahao, seriously? How did you find that out? Huang Jiahao, I tipped off some second-year thugs, told them about the new monitor from Class 2 Finance, and warned them to steer clear. They took the bait and went to confront Liang. 15 of them went, 2 ended up dead. Suyang, you were right to stay cautious. I'm glad I didn't act impulsively back then. Li Zhen, nice work, Jiahao. Now we know why Liang acts so recklessly. I wonder if our new monitor stands a chance against him. Are we just going to let Liang run wild forever? Wu Hetian, it won't last. If Liang keeps stirring up trouble, he'll make enemies of everyone. I refuse to believe there isn't a single class across the whole campus that can stop him. Long Hai at Huang Jiahao, boss. You're as cunning as ever, haha. The class group fell silent in an instant. No one replied to Long Hai, leaving his message hanging unanswered. Gu Pingxing had just wondered why the chat went quiet when realization hit him. What the hell? Long Hai had been dead for 2 days. How could he be sending messages? A cold sense of dread crept over Gu Pingxing. No one else dared type a single word in the class channel. A student who had died 2 days prior suddenly messaging the group. This was nothing short of supernatural. Gu Pingxing's private group chat. Yi Wanqing, what's going on? Is someone playing a prank? How can dead Long Hai send messages in the class group? Li Na, I just checked the class roster. Including me, we still have 43 members. Long Hai is there, and Zhao Ming too. Is this a haunting? Lu Chong, is that really Long Hai? How can a dead person send messages on the chat channel? Class chat channel. Zhao Ming. Damn Liang, he burned me to death. Everyone, you have to avenge me. If you don't, you're all Liang's accomplices. If I get the chance, I'll kill every last one of you. Long Hai, why isn't anyone talking? Boss, you have to avenge me. Kill Shinche for me. If you don't, boss, I'll come for you too. Gu Pingxing, are you 2 living people or ghosts? Long Hai at Gu Pingxing, I'm already dead, so naturally I'm a ghost. Hee. You cursed my whole family before. I will never let you get away with it. Gu Pingxing's expression turned grim. Something was deeply wrong with Long Hai and Zhao Ming. When he was alive, Long Hai was Huang Jiahao's subordinate. He would never have threatened to kill Huang Jiahao. It meant the spirits of the deceased were no longer the people they had been in life. They had transformed into vengeful wraiths. Gu Pingsheng, I'm waiting for you, Long Hai. But right now you can only make empty threats in the chat group. If you truly possess the power to kill me, why haven't you come? My guess is both you and Zhao Ming are restricted. You're only able to send messages in the class group to intimidate us, am I right? After Gu Pingsheng sent the message, Long Hai and Zhao Ming went quiet. Perhaps his words struck a nerve, or there were limitations governing messages sent by the dead. A long stretch of time passed with no further replies from them. Gu Pingsheng at Long Hai at Zhao Ming, cat got your tongues? If you stay silent, I'll take it as proof you can do nothing but run your mouths. Su Yang at Gu Pingsheng nicely said, brother, these two wraiths are nothing but rats hiding in the dark. They aren't the real Long Hai and Zhao Ming anymore. Wang Chun at Gu Pingsheng, that took courage, but you need to be careful. They might find a way to get revenge. Huang Jiahao, I never thought Long Hai would become like this. When he was alive, he would never have spoken to me like that. Su Yang at Huang Jiahao, like I said, these are either wraiths impersonating the dead, or death twisted their minds. You see this sort of plot in novels all the time. Huang Jiahao, that makes sense. Gu Pingsheng closed the class group and opened the school-wide channel to check if other classes were facing the same phenomenon. I just got terrified. A dead classmate suddenly messaged our group. What on earth is happening? Same here. Around the exact same time, a girl who died from our class started screaming she'd kill all of us, claiming we were responsible for her death. We're being haunted. This is real. Everyone, I suspect this is a game mechanic. Nothing like this happened the past 2 days. The novice protection period must have ended. The deceased persist in another form, capable of speaking within class chat channels. This is horrifying. Will they come hunting us? Do you think ghosts still have to complete school assignments? If we draw a mission, could we run into these departed spirits? Gu Pingsheng's eyes widened. That person's theory might well be correct. He sighed. This campus survival game grew stranger by the hour. If he died, would he end up encountering other wraiths somewhere beyond life? Could that place be the underworld? It was confirmed beyond doubt. The deceased students from every class had begun posting messages within their respective class channels. Most students were paralyzed with fear, yet some argued that with a survival game unfolding before their eyes, it was only logical that mysterious forces would allow the dead to become vengeful spirits. Gu Pingsheng thought the argument held merit. One thing was certain. Neither Long Hai nor Zhao Ming, nor any other departed student, had posted anything in the school-wide channel. If they could, dozens of people would have mentioned it by now. Close to 10 o'clock at night, Gu Pingsheng's 3 roommates had climbed into bed to rest. Curfew prohibited anyone from leaving dormitories after 10 o'clock. Mobile data was cut off campus-wide, with only basic electricity still functioning. Most students headed to bed around 10, and Gu Pingsheng's 3 gaming-obsessed roommates were no exception. Oddly enough, the deadly survival game had encouraged healthier sleeping habits among the student body. One of its few positive side effects. Gu Pingsheng's routine was different. He had been waiting for 10 o'clock to arrive. Once curfew began, he planned to search the campus for treasure chests. His stamina was still limited in the early stages, so he would not venture far. He intended to search only the area surrounding the dormitory building for an hour or 2, returning to his room if he found nothing. 10 o'clock finally arrived. Gu Pingsheng lay in bed, waiting until his 3 roommates drifted into deep sleep, their soft snores filling the room. Then he activated his Void Shift talent and slipped out of the dorm. Stepping into the corridor, he deactivated Void Shift. He would conserve stamina and keep his talent dormant until he encountered monsters. He had slept through the afternoon and remained inside the dorm all evening, leaving him with a full 9 stamina points. That translated to 27 minutes of talent usage. If he only activated it when danger arose, it would last long enough for a 1 or 2 hour expedition. Gu Pingsheng wasted no time and began searching the male dormitory corridors first. The rules stated treasure chests could spawn anywhere on campus. He searched every corridor on the 1st to 3rd floors and found nothing. He moved on to floors 4 through 6. Every dormitory building on campus had 6 stories, as buildings taller than 6 floors required elevators. There were numerous dormitory blocks. This one housed finance students from 2-year groups. 3rd and 4th year finance students resided in a separate nearby building. He combed all corridors on floors 4 to 6 without success. Standing at the 6th floor stairwell, he prepared to head for the rooftop. Just then, he heard footsteps. The sound was faint, yet the night was deathly quiet, making it easy to pick up. It did not sound like human footsteps. The rhythm was steady and eerie. Gu Pingsheng instantly activated Void Shift. A woman in red, barefoot, ascended the stairs from the 5th floor to the 6th floor landing. She stood on tiptoes, tilted her head slightly, and clutched a blood-red dagger in her hand. Your sanity drops by 3 points. Current sanity, 10. The woman stood almost directly in front of him. Gu Pingsheng could clearly see her eyes, pure black. Blood seeping from her facial features, her skin deathly pale. No breath emanated from her body at all. She looked exactly like a vengeful spirit from horror films. No, she was not merely similar. This was a genuine wraith. This was the second time he had encountered a supernatural entity. If the axe-wielding man he met previously also counted as a wraith. It was also the second time his sanity value had decreased. The wraith scanned her surroundings. She had sensed a living presence moments ago, yet the trace had vanished. She continued her search along the corridor. After a while, the female wraith moved away. Gu Pingsheng let out a quiet breath of relief. He prepared to deactivate Void Shift and head for the rooftop, but the fading footsteps grew louder once more. The red-cloaked wraith was coming back. Damned spirit. She was laying a trap. Gu Pingsheng dared not move. Even in Void Shift, his feet still made contact with the floor, and the slightest noise might draw her attention. A thought suddenly struck him. If Void Shift allowed him to turn fully intangible, could he lift himself off the ground? The potential of the intangibility talent seemed far greater than he first realized. He could render his entire body incorporeal, including his feet. In that state, he could move freely anywhere within the campus boundaries. He wondered if gravity would still pull him down. Probably not. Without physical mass, gravitational force should no longer apply. Gu Pingsheng resolved to test this theory. In the next instant, his whole body turned intangible, his feet lifting off the floor. His expression hardened immediately. This advanced form of Void Shift drained stamina far faster. One stamina point previously granted 3 minutes of partial shift. Now it only lasted 1 minute, 3 times the consumption rate. Regardless, reaching the rooftop remained his priority. He still held 8 stamina points, but his gauge plummeted steadily. He would need to cancel full intangibility as soon as he secured the chest. Ignoring the wraith patrolling the 6th floor corridor, Gu Pingsheng floated upward toward the rooftop. A surge of excitement rose within him. A pitch-black treasure chest sat directly in the center of the rooftop. This must be the treasure chest everyone talks about, Gu Pingsheng thought silently. He wanted to open it immediately, yet remained trapped in intangible form. He uncovered a limitation of his talent. Objects could only be brought into Void Shift if he held them before activating the ability. In other words, if Gu Pingsheng gripped a dagger and then shifted, the dagger would turn intangible alongside him. However, to strike an enemy, he would need to cancel Void Shift mid-attack. He could not grab new objects while already intangible. He had to deactivate the talent first. The wraith still patrolled the 6th floor, a fair distance from the rooftop. Furthermore, rooftop access was locked on every dormitory block to prevent dangerous falls. The wraith would need time to find a way up. Gu Pingsheng deactivated Void Shift and rushed to open the chest. A system prompt appeared the moment he reached it. Black iron low-grade treasure chest monitor Gu Pingsheng. You have obtained bottled water 500 milliliters times 3, sharp pocket knife times 1, fire axe times 1. Monitor Gu Pingsheng. You are the first player on Yanqing University campus to open a treasure chest. Would you like to announce this achievement school-wide? Choosing to hold a school-wide announcement will reward you with a mysterious prize. Gu Pingsheng fell silent, weighing whether to trigger the public announcement. The whole school announcement, it would basically tell everyone who he was, and that he was the first one to obtain a treasure chest. If he chose the whole school announcement, the name Gu Pingsheng would undoubtedly echo across the entire campus. Obtaining a treasure chest meant he could move in restricted zones after dark, and it would reveal that he possessed a special ability, a so-called talent. Of course, he could turn down the whole school announcement, but that would mean missing out on a reward. Should he step into the spotlight for the reward? Gu Pingsheng grew increasingly tempted. Before the campus survival ordeal began, a whole school announcement only meant certificates and at most a small scholarship. Things were different now. The reward might well be a special item. Well, fortune favors the bold. Gu Pingsheng finally decided to accept the whole school announcement. Simply put, he wanted to take a chance on the reward. Whole school announcement selected. Whole school announcement. Attention, all students. Gu Pingsheng from Yanqing University is the first student on campus to acquire a treasure chest. He embodies the enterprising spirit and courage to explore that all Yanqing University students should strive for. He is hereby commended. Player Gu Pingsheng will receive a random S-rank skill as a reward. We hope Gu Pingsheng will cherish this honor and continue to forge ahead. All students should take Gu Pingsheng as an example. Be brave, take action, temper yourselves through challenges, pursue growth, and together demonstrate the responsibility of Yangqing University's youth. The formal whole school announcement echoed in every student's ears. It jolted many who had fallen asleep awake. Plenty of others were still wide awake. It was not yet 11 o'clock. What the hell? A whole school announcement? Who is Gu Pingxing? Treasure chests are outside the dorms. How did he get one? He's insane. Isn't he afraid of dying? Are you kidding me? A few days ago, students who wandered outside at night ended up dead and their bodies were displayed. Now someone else goes out at night, finds a treasure chest, and gets rewarded. The school is so inconsistent. It's not inconsistent. The difference is the outcome. Everyone who snuck out before died. Gu Pingxing survived and found a treasure chest. No one knows how he pulled it off. Shock rippled through everyone. Countless students flooded the chat channel with questions, trying to figure out his grade and class. Naturally, some remained dismissive. So what if he found a treasure chest? Rewards earned by gambling with your own life will get him killed sooner or later when he takes another reckless risk. Maybe he has an exceptional talent. Regardless, Gu Pingxing is famous now. He knows how to get treasure chests. Senior Gu Pingxing, can you protect me? I'm a girl. Begging won't help. Why would he go out of his way to protect you? Don't be ridiculous. He probably just got lucky. Maybe the treasure chest was right by the corridor and he stumbled across it. Gu Pingxing did not check the chat channel, yet he knew he had become the talk of the whole school. Meanwhile, footsteps echoed on the stairs leading from the 6th floor to the rooftop. That ghostly creature was coming. He had no time to check what his new S-rank skill was. It was past 10, nearly 11. He needed to get back quickly. Activating void concealment, Gu Pingxing stowed everything from the treasure chest into his backpack, descended quietly, located his dormitory, and stopped at the door. The dorm lights were still on. His 3 roommates stared blankly at Gu Pingxing's empty bed. A moment later, Gu Pingxing knocked on the door. Li Jian immediately pulled him inside and slammed the door shut. Li Jian, Huang Tian, and Lu Chang all stared at Gu Pingxing in astonishment. Gu Pingxing, have you lost your mind? Going outside at night? Or do you have a powerful talent you've been hiding from us? Yeah, how did you end up with a whole school announcement? Gu Pingxing explained. I spotted a treasure chest in the corridor and took the risk to open it. Right after that, the whole school announcement went out. He wondered how much of this story his roommates would believe. For one thing, how could he see a corridor treasure chest from inside the dorm? Without some special ability, no one would dare head outside to retrieve it. The other 3 exchanged glances, clearly struggling to accept his explanation. Still, they chose not to press further. Everyone had secrets of their own. Prying too deeply would be disrespectful. Gu Pingxing smiled. Come on, this is good news after all. I've got a powerful S-rank skill now. With this strength, we don't need to fear threats from students in other classes. Everyone on campus knew about the skill reward, as it had been mentioned in the announcement. Lu Chang said, that's true. Gu Pingxing, can you tell us what your S-rank skill is? It's fine if you can't. It's your secret after all. Gu Pingxing checked his newly acquired S-rank skill. Skill, Spirit Shattering Slash. Type, Spirit/Human. Spirit means the skill deals damage to ghosts or spiritual entities. Human means it damages humans and other physical creatures. Spirit/Human means the skill can harm both ghosts and humans. Grade, S-rank. Cooldown, 10 seconds. Upon activation, unleash 5 consecutive high-damage targeted slashes toward the front. Targets cannot evade. The slashes work against all living beings. Activation costs 0.5 stamina. Note, skill grades are determined by damage output, effects, cooldown, and stamina consumption. The highest grade is S rank, lowest D rank, the same system used for talents. Gu Pingxing broke into a smile. Spirit Shattering Slash, an offensive S rank skill. Void Concealment, his defensive S rank talent. For the time being, he had no obvious weaknesses. I don't mind telling you. My new skill unleashes multiple slashes forward. Think of Li Bai's ultimate ability in Honor of Kings. Gu Pingxing saw no harm in revealing his skill. He would keep his life-saving talent hidden, though. It was not that he distrusted his roommates, but it was always better to keep a talent concealed for as long as possible. That's insane. Just hearing the description and rank tells me how strong it is. Li Jian and Lu Chang were equally thrilled, quickly chiming in and saying they hoped to rely on him for protection. At the same time, a private message popped up. Luo Qingxue. Gu Pingxing, was that you in the whole school announcement? Gu Pingxing, it's me. Surprised? The next second, Gu Pingxing felt slightly uneasy. Would Luo Qingxue question whether he had been hiding a talent? She had told him about her own talent before, while he kept his secret. Should he tell her? Then came her reply. Luo Qingxue, Pingxing, don't take such reckless risks again. Have you thought about how dangerous it is to go out at night? Why do you take such chances with your life? Gu Pingsheng, don't worry. I know what I'm doing. Luo Qingxue, what would I do if something happened to you? Crying emoji. Seeing the girl's worried message, Gu Pingsheng felt a faint sense of amusement. Gu Pingsheng, you'd carry on living, of course. In this cruel survival world, no one can guarantee they'll survive forever. Helpless emoji. Luo Qingxue, that won't do. If you die, I won't want to keep going either. Angry emoji. Gu Pingsheng, don't talk nonsense. It's very late. Get some rest. Luo Qingxue. Okay, good night. Meanwhile, Luo Qingxue curled up under her blanket, her cheeks flushed. She wondered if Gu Pingsheng could tell how much she cared about him. Her words sounded far too desperate just now. She let out a quiet sigh. Besides Luo Qingxue, other acquaintances messaged Gu Pingsheng, including his counselor and class monitor. Both were stunned by the whole school announcement. Even Su Yang and Huang Jiahao sent their congratulations. Only Yi Wanqing, the former class monitor, kept pressing him for details. The others held back. They suspected Gu Pingsheng had secrets and did not want to irritate him by prying. Yi Wanqing. Hey Gu Pingsheng, just tell me how you managed it. Gu Pingsheng. There was a treasure chest in the corridor outside my dorm. I picked it up and opened it. That's all. Yi Wanqing. I don't believe you. Tell me the truth. Gu Pingsheng. Sweat emoji. Gu Pingsheng sighed. Faced with the relentlessly curious former monitor, he chose to stop replying. 12 o'clock at night. Suyang finished the day's assignment, having not eaten anything all day. Every student in finance class 1 heard the system notification. Suyang has completed the class assignment. Reward for all classmates. 10 compressed biscuits, 2 bottles of 500 milliliters water. Assignment grade, C. Suyang receives an additional bottle of 500 milliliters water. Rewards have been deposited into personal backpacks. Gu Pingsheng opened his backpack. Between rewards accumulated over days and newly acquired supplies and weapons, he was likely one of the better-equipped students in the class. Gu Pingsheng's status panel, School, Yanqing University. Class, Finance 1221. Position, Class Monitor. Talent, S-Rank Void Concealment. Health, 100% death occurs when health reaches 0. Physique, 12. Physical capability Stamina, 3/12. Exhaustion leads to collapse when stamina hits 0. Sanity, 13. Sanity drops when exposed to terror. Sanity below 5 causes confusion. Below 2 induces madness. 0 results in brain death. Average values for ordinary people, 10 skills. S-Rank Spirit Shattering Slash. Title, None. Assignments completed, 1. Status, Fatigued. Personal backpack, compressed biscuit times 15. Instant noodle times 3. 500 milliliters water times 17. Whole wheat bread times 1. Bread times 2. Self-heating rice times 3. Packaged chicken breast times 2. Sharp dagger times 1. Fire axe times 1 inch. Sharp dagger. Grade. Low-grade black iron. A sharp dagger with no special properties. Fire axe. Grade. Mid-grade black iron. A standard fire axe with no special properties. For now, his food reserves were sufficient. Gu Pingsheng did not ration his supplies. He strove to consume 1,500 to 2,000 kilocalories each day to meet his body's needs. If he could keep completing assignments, food and water would not be a major concern. He drank some water, visited the restroom, then returned to bed to rest. To stay prepared for emergencies, he slept lightly, with the dagger tucked beneath his pillow. Vigilance was essential, especially in their current predicament. Early the next morning, Gu Pingsheng and his roommates headed to the classroom for the new assignment. As soon as he walked in, nearly everyone turned to look at him. Some gazed at him with awe, some with curiosity, and others with envy. Gu Pingsheng remained calm and walked to his seat. Acting all high and mighty. He just got lucky finding a treasure chest. Why does someone like him get it? This survival system sure favors him. Wang Zihan muttered scornfully. She tended to look down on all the boys in the class. She would not have spoken so openly if Huang Jiahao had already arrived. Wang Zihan kept complaining, her voice full of jealousy and resentment. Gu Pingsheng's eyes narrowed. He stepped slowly over to where Wang Zihan Saturday. What did you just say? His imposing aura stunned Wang Zihan, leaving her speechless. A split second later, Gu Pingsheng slapped her hard across the face. The blow left Wang Zihan dizzy. Her physique was low, and she could not withstand a full-strength strike from a young man. Gu Pingsheng pulled out his fire axe and pressed the blade against her neck, staring at her coldly. No college student could endure such intimidation. She froze in terror, feeling the sharp edge against her skin. She had no doubt that if she pushed him further, he might strike her down. Fear overwhelmed her completely. I've grown tired of you, Wang Zihan. You should understand there are no laws restraining us now. If I take a dislike to you, I could split your head open with this axe. Do you understand? Gu Pingxing said coldly. Wang Zihan trembled and nodded. I'm sorry, spare me. She wanted to argue, but terror silenced her. The other girls sitting beside her watched in shock. Wang Zihan shot a desperate look toward Counselor Li Na. Yet Li Na sat quietly in her seat, pretending she had seen nothing. How could she ignore this? Wang Zihan thought bitterly. Gu Pingxing pulled the axe away and struck her several more times until one of her teeth fell out and her mouth filled with blood. Only then did he stop. Wow, Pingxing, that was awesome. People like her deserve to be put in their place. Luo Qingxue said, a hint of schadenfreude in her eyes. Yi Wanqing tried to mediate. Gu Pingxing, I agree she was out of line. But if you intend to confront her, it would be better to do it somewhere private. Making a scene in the classroom will attract unwanted attention. I'll judge her conduct from now on. Don't worry, Wanqing. I won't be foolish enough to kill someone openly like Liang. There was no way to know which classmates might be hiding powerful talents. Gu Pingxing would not commit an irreversible act in front of everyone. Even the straightforward Yi Wanqing understood this. Only someone like Liang, who had seized full control of his class, could afford such recklessness. To pull that off, one would first need to learn every hidden talent among their classmates. The dynamics within their class were still unclear. 10:30 in the morning. The new assignment appeared. Today is Tuesday. Monitor Gu Pingxing, please select your class assignment. Assignment 1. Lin Yao, Gu Pingxing, Su Yang, Ma Xiaoli, Yi Wanqing, Tan Lily will participate in a chase mission. One will be designated the hunter. The rest are fugitives. Duration, 10 hours. Hunter objective. Eliminate at least 2 fugitives. Fugitive objective. Kill the hunter, or survive for the full 10 hours. The hunter is forbidden to attack anyone in the first hour after the mission begins. Failure penalty, erasure. Assignment 2. Xin She, Huang Jiahao, Huang Fan, Li Na, Luo Qingxue will take part in a battle royale. A maximum of 2 participants may survive. Duration, 10 hours. If the survival condition is not met once time expires, all remaining participants will be marked as having failed the assignment. Failure penalty, erasure. Blood red text appeared floating above the blackboard, leaving everyone stunned. No one expected such a brutal assignment. Assignment 1 forced the selected students to turn on each other. At minimum, 2 people could die, and casualties might climb higher. Assignment 2 was even crueler. At least 3 participants would perish. Luo Qingxue's face paled with fright. Counselor Li Na also looked alarmed. If Gu Pingxing chose assignment 2, her odds of survival would be slim. She could not bring herself to fight against her own students. Gu Pingxing's expression darkened. Both assignments required a small group of selected students to participate. He recalled that ordinary assignments were supposed to run Monday through Friday, with large-scale class assignments only on Saturdays. Wait, a thought dawned on Gu Pingxing. Perhaps the class assignment on Saturdays was not limited to small groups. It might involve every single student in the class. Cold sweat trickled down his back. How many people would die when Saturday arrived? He pushed the thought aside. There were more pressing matters. Without hesitation, Gu Pingxing selected assignment 1. Luo Qingxue and Li Na were both listed for assignment 2. If that mission went ahead, Xin She and Huang Jiahao would almost certainly emerge as the survivors. One was sharp, witted, the other skilled in combat. They would team up against the others. Gu Pingxing did not believe Huang Fan would pose any threat. Therefore, assignment 1 was the only viable choice. Yi Wanqing was assigned to assignment 1. He would try to keep an eye out for her, provided she was not chosen as the hunter. If she became the hunter, he could not predict whether she would target him. The text for assignment 2 faded away, confirming the monitor's choice. What are you thinking? Lin Yao shouted. Monitor, are you crazy? Why pick assignment 1? I don't want to be hunted. Lin Yao, you were thanking the monitor when your name first appeared on the assignment list. Why are you panicking now? A girl who disliked Lin Yao sneered. Shut up, Lu Jieqi. It's easy for you to mock me when you're not involved. Lin Yao snapped. Too bad it's not my name up there. Lu Jieqi replied coldly. As one of the class beauties, Lin Yao had several boys eager to defend her. Yao Yao, don't be scared. I'll protect you. There's only 1 hunter and 5 fugitives. We stand a good chance. One boy who had a crush on Lin Yao puffed out his chest. Ma Teng, can you really keep me safe? I don't want to die, Lin Yao said with a vulnerable expression. Oh, of course I can. Ma Teng's heart raced. His crush was relying on him. Mission commences. Student Gu Pingxing, you are a fugitive. Hearing the notification, Gu Pingxing let out a quiet breath. Being assigned as the hunter would have put him in an impossible position. He was not sure if he could bring himself to attack his classmates. Gu Pingxing suspected the hunter would receive a temporary power boost to balance the mission rules. possibly increased physique or enhanced attributes. It was only fair. Gu Pingxing, Wanqing, what's your plan? Luo Qingxue asked anxiously. No need to panic, Gu Pingxing said calmly. I'm a fugitive. Our goal is simply to stay alive. I'm also a fugitive, Pingxing, Yi Wanqing said softly. Stick close to me from now on, Gu Pingxing offered. He intended to look out for her. All right, I'll follow you. I won't hold you back, Yi Wanqing replied. Let's go. Gu Pingxing and Yi Wanqing left the classroom first. Where are you two heading? Lin Yao called out. Where else? The hunter cannot attack anyone for the first hour. That window is for us to find hiding spots. Do you plan to wait in the classroom for the hunter to show up? I'd also warn everyone not involved in this assignment to stay clear of the participants. You could get caught in the crossfire. Gu Pingxing shrugged and explained. Right after that, he turned and left without looking back together with Yi Wanqing. Su Yang also stood up and walked out. Ma Xiaoli and Tan Lily, the two young girls, snapped out of their daze and followed suit. Only Lin Yao remained in the classroom. After hearing Gu Pingxing's words, Lin Yao hesitated as she looked at Ma Teng. She spoke softly. Ma Teng, maybe you shouldn't get involved on my behalf. This matter has nothing to do with you after all. Ma Teng had truly been hesitant and wanted to stay out of it at first. But when he heard Lin Yao say this, Ma Teng suddenly felt fired up and shouted, Lin Yao, I promise to protect you. Ma Teng, you're so kind to me, Lin Yao said emotionally. The 6 students assigned to the task had already found places to hide. Meanwhile, Gu Pingping and Yi Wanqing arrived at the library. Pingping, are you bringing me to hide in the library? Yi Wanqing asked. Gu Pingping nodded. That's right. The library is the largest building on campus, even bigger than the gymnasium. Each floor has at least 4 self-study rooms, and inside those rooms are many small chambers and storage areas. Even if the hunter comes, they will spend ages searching. That makes sense. Yi Wanqing nodded in agreement. The two soon entered a storage room inside self-study room C on the 6th floor of the library. The space was mostly filled with stacks of old books and spare desks and chairs from the self-study areas. Gu Pingping pulled out a chair and sat down to rest. There were not many people in the library at this hour. After everything that had happened, few were in the mood to study. Still, a small number of avid readers and teachers remained inside. They chose to hide in this storage room of self-study room, C mainly because the room had quite a few people inside. Through the window on the door, they could observe activity in the self-study room and a section of the corridor outside. We'll stay here for the next 10 hours, Gu Pingping said. His reason for sheltering Yi Wanqing was straightforward. As the League branch secretary, he had often worked alongside Yi Wanqing under Li Na before this survival ordeal began, and the two knew each other well. Yi Wanqing always took her duties seriously. She would even finish her own tasks and then help Gu Pingping with work related to the League branch secretary role. At times, Yi Wanqing also faced unfair treatment from administrative teachers. So even though they were not part of the same group, Yi Wanqing was Gu Pingping's friend. More importantly, if the hunter turned out to be extremely dangerous, having Yi Wanqing beside him meant he only needed to outrun her. Thoughts swirled inside Gu Pingping's mind. Thank you, Gu Pingping. But aren't you worried I might be the hunter? Yi Wanqing finally voiced the question that had lingered in her mind. Even if you were, you could never kill me. Gu Pingping replied. Is it because of that S-rank skill? It sounds amazing. I wish I had that kind of power too. Yi Wanqing's eyes lit up with envy. You could say that. Gu Pingping answered vaguely, unwilling to go into details. Yi Wanqing kept talking non-stop, imagining how she would protect her companions if she gained power. She spoke of protecting Gu Pingping and repaying him for sheltering her today. Yi Wanqing often lacked awareness of social cues. Even when Gu Pingping had no desire to chat, she kept talking. Sigh, League branch secretary. Sometimes I get the feeling most classmates don't like me. Yi Wanqing glanced cautiously at Gu Pingping's impatient expression and sighed. Gu Pingping looked at her. It was true. Though Yi Wanqing was the class monitor, that very position was the reason many students disliked her. For instance, the college frequently required each class to send participants to tedious formal events that no one wanted to attend. Yi Wanqing would hold random draws in the class group, and whoever was selected had to take part. This unknowingly earned her resentment from many classmates. Another issue was that quite a few students skipped less important elective courses. Occasionally, teachers would ask class monitors to take attendance. Some monitors might overlook close friends who were absent, but Yi Wanqing was far too principled. She recorded every single missing student without exception. Many of her decisions had quietly alienated her from her classmates, especially the girls in the class. She even seemed to be ostracized by Wang Zihan and her group. Don't fixate on who dislikes you. Focus on those who care about you. You can never make everyone like you. Gu Pingping offered comfort. Gu Pingping, do you like me? Yi Wanqing asked. Right after the words left her mouth, she realized how awkward it sounded. I didn't mean it like that. You are one of the few friends I have in this class. Gu Pingping said earnestly. Thank you, Pingping. It means a lot to have you. Yi Wanqing whispered gratefully. A long silence followed. Yi Wanqing seemed lost in thought and stared blankly at Gu Pingping from time to time. Unwilling to let the conversation end, she brought up another question casually. By the way, Pingping, if you were the hunter, would you choose to take your own life or kill 2 classmates to survive? Why ask that all of a sudden? Gu Pingping asked. I am just curious. I would figure out which classmates have grievances against me first. I would take care of those with grudges. If there's no bad blood, I would pick classmates I don't know well. Gu Pingping said. I won't pretend I'd sacrifice myself to let others live. That would be fake. I have parents, a younger sister and brother, and people I care about. I will do whatever it takes to survive and get back to them. Yi Wanqing nodded, looking somewhat relieved. Half an hour passed inside the storage room. Yi Wanqing's face flushed, and she shifted awkwardly. Gu Pingping, I need to go to the restroom. All right. Message me if you run into trouble. I assume you don't need me to come with you? No, there's no need. Yi Wanqing replied with red cheeks. Gu Pingping watched Yi Wanqing's departing figure, his eyes narrowing slightly. Ma Teng, is hiding in the men's restroom really going to work? Inside the restroom on the 5th floor of the 2nd teaching building, Lin Yao whispered. She looked at the freckles across Ma Teng's face, a flicker of disdain hidden deep in her gaze. Being trapped in a confined space with a boy who was plain-looking and rather short felt deeply uncomfortable to her. Ma Teng explained, it's definitely a solid plan. First off, the hunter is one among 6 people, 2 boys and 4 girls. Hunters are more likely to search the opposite gender's restroom. Guys are usually bolder, so this lowers our chance of being found. On top of that, the hunter would never expect us to hide in a restroom. Just then, footsteps echoed outside the restroom door. The 2 immediately held their breath. Ma Teng assumed it was just someone coming to use the facilities. But the door was suddenly kicked open with tremendous force, slamming straight into Ma Teng. He was knocked to the ground, blocked from seeing clearly by the door. Shuddering, he realized what was happening, curled up on the floor, and covered his head, not daring to look. All thoughts of protecting the girl he admired vanished the instant danger arrived. As long as the hunter's face stayed out of his sight, he would most likely survive. Lin Yao watched a familiar person step forward. Her eyes widened in shock. She opened her mouth to scream, but a black dagger pierced her throat. Warm blood splattered all over Ma Teng. The intruders saw that Ma Teng had not caught sight of their face and hurried away. Ma Teng trembled for a long time. Only after the footsteps faded did he let out a shaky breath. He slowly opened his eyes and saw Lin Yao's body lying on the ground. Her eyes remained wide open, fixed directly on Ma Teng, as if questioning why he had failed to protect her. That was definitely the hunter just now. Thank goodness I didn't see their face. If I had, I would be dead for sure. Ma Teng breathed a sigh of sorrow as he stared at the girl he admired. Lin Yao, I'm sorry. I got scared. Ma Teng knelt down and held her body, speaking in a trembling voice. As he clung to her, gazing at her face, a strange thought crossed his mind. Do you think it's safe heading back to the girls' dormitory? Ma Xiaoli asked hesitantly. It should be. Sometimes the most dangerous place is the safest. The hunter would never guess we went back to our dorm. Tan Lili said confidently. You're right, Lily. Ma Xiaoli and Tan Lili were roommates and part of Wang Zihan's group, which was why they returned together. They also had similar names and were close best friends. Lily, if you were the hunter, who would you target first? Ma Xiaoli asked suddenly. Who else but Yi Wanqing? She always acts so self-righteous. She marked me absent when I skipped class before. It's so annoying. Tan Lili complained. Ma Xiaoli nodded. I feel exactly the same. I hope Yi Wanqing dies during this task. Sister Wang hates her too. And Gu Pingping, he dared to stand up to Sister Wang. He deserves what's coming to him. It would be best if those 2 perish this time. If you ask me, none of the class committee members are decent. They all act arrogant just because they hold positions. And our instructor, she always dresses in a way that draws too much attention. Tan Lili kept ranting. I also heard Yi Wanqing's family is really poor. She still uses an Oppo A5. She's from a rural area, and her elderly grandmother is hospitalized. Even though she has so little money, she reported Lin Yao to the instructor over a fake bracelet Lin Yao stole from her. It wasn't even worth 100 yuan. I now was foolish to penalize her. She's just someone who runs to teachers whenever something happens. That monitor position means nothing. Exactly. Their other 2 roommates had left earlier, afraid of getting caught up in danger. The 2 continued to badmouth Yi Wanqing freely inside the dorm. Then a deafening bang shook the dormitory door. Bang! Who's there? Ma Xiaoli jumped in fright. She saw Yi Wanqing standing in the doorway, holding a black dagger with fresh blood on the blade. Yi Wanqing was the hunter among the 6 students. Originally, she had planned to end her own life. At the very least, her friend Gu Pingping would stay by her side in her final moments. But Gu Pingping's words made her rethink everything. Or perhaps, she had already been torn and uncertain deep down. Gu Pingping's speech gave her the resolve she needed. She had her grandmother waiting for her at home, and a younger sister still in high school. Her sister was likely trapped in the same terrifying trial right now. She could not give up. Instead of dying, she would eliminate those who had bullied, insulted, and tormented her. Lin Yao was first on the list. Lin Yao had stolen and smashed the jade bracelet her grandmother had given her. As for Ma Teng, she spared him. He had not seen her face and would never know the hunter's identity. Besides, she had no particular grudge against him. After becoming the hunter, Yi Wanqing's physique received a temporary boost of 20 points. Her base physique was 9, bringing her current value to 29, nearly 3 times that of an average adult male. She was also temporarily granted a silver-grade low-tier dagger. Most importantly, Yi Wanqing could receive location hints for Lin Yao and the 2 other girls. There were 2 strict restrictions to keep the ability balanced, so she could not track people endlessly. First, the target group must remain stationary in the same location for 30 minutes. Moving more than 100 meters counted as relocating. Second, there must be at least one other person within a 10-meter radius of the target. Anyone hoping to avoid being tracked by the hunter could either stay alone in one spot or keep moving frequently if staying with others. The campus was vast. If people followed those rules, the chance of being located was extremely slim. Unfortunately, the escapees knew nothing of these conditions. Staying together in the same place for 30 minutes without moving would trigger the hunter's location notification. Strictly speaking, Gu Pingping had made that mistake earlier. Lin Yao, Ma Xiaoli, and Tan Lili had fallen into the same trap. As for Su Yong, he was hiding somewhere alone. Why Yi Wanqing, you're the hunter? Ma Xiaoli stared in terror at the bloody dagger and immediately realized the truth. You guessed it. I heard you talking about me outside the door. Yi Wanqing said flatly. You can't kill us. Murder is illegal. Tan Lili was overcome with regret. She could tell Yi Wanqing had overheard everything she had said, including the worst insults. You deserve this. You insulted me, and you spoke cruelly about my grandmother. Yi Wanqing stepped forward slowly, rage burning in her eyes. After killing Lin Yao, Yi Wanqing had run outside the restroom and vomited, shaking uncontrollably from fear. Once she calmed down, however, she felt a strange rush. Just as Gu Pingping had said, eliminating those she hated brought a twisted sense of release. She immediately headed for the next location she had received, the girls' dormitory where the 2 girls stayed. She had still been unsure who to kill next until she stood outside the door and heard them slandering her, Li Na, Gu Pingping, and her grandmother. She made up her mind. Neither of them would survive. You already killed someone, Yi Wanqing. Only one more victim completes the task. Kill Tan Lili. She started all the rude talk. Spare me. Ma Xiaoli pointed at her roommate and begged desperately. Tan Lili stared at her supposed best friend in disbelief, overcome with fury. You called her a useless monitor too. Don't think I forgot. I only agreed with you to be polite. I didn't mean a word. Lies. You snuck into Yi Wanqing's dorm and used her toothbrush to clean the toilet once. The 2 girls began fighting, grabbing each other's hair and shouting vicious accusations. Yi Wanqing did not wait for their fight to end. She drove the dagger into Ma Xiaoli's neck, then thrust the blade through Tan Lili's head. Both strikes killed instantly. She stood up, gasping heavily, her eyes bloodshot as she looked at the 2 bodies. Moments later, she sank to her knees and burst into tears. After she regained her composure, she wiped away her tears, put the dagger away, changed her blood-stained clothes, and headed for the library. Yi Wanqing hesitated for a moment before slipping back into the small storage room where she and Gu Pingping had hidden. Gu Pingping looked up. Did you finish the task? Yi Wanqing froze. She suddenly wondered why she had bothered changing clothes. Her secret was already exposed. I finished it. Yi Wanqing replied quietly, unable to meet Gu Pingping's gaze. She imagined Gu Pingping now saw her as a murderer. I see. I thought you might need help. It seems the hunter's abilities are quite powerful. Gu Pingping smiled faintly. Aren't you scared of me? Don't you blame me. Why would I blame you? You were forced into this position. If I were you, I would also have killed 2 classmates to survive. As for fear, if you wanted to harm me, you would have done it already, wouldn't you? But I killed 3 people. Seeing Gu Pingping's confused expression, Yi Wanqing quickly explained everything. The memory of killing sent her emotions spiraling toward collapse once more. Gu Pingping had never expected Yi Wanqing to endure such severe bullying. He shook his head and said, I would have done the same in your place. Do you remember what the Heavenly Tao said at the very beginning? Yi Wanqing looked at him in confusion. Gu Pingping continued. It claimed rigid formalities run rampant on campus, and bullying is commonplace. It believes schools as they are cannot nurture genuine capable people. To become someone worthy, everyone must endure this trial. What's done is done. Our priority now is to survive and get through every upcoming assignment. Yi Wanqing nodded, still only partially understanding. It was past 5 in the afternoon. The 10 hours had elapsed. Yi Wanqing did not kill anyone else. She had already satisfied the task requirements, even exceeding them. Furthermore, Gu Pingping was her friend, and she held no deep grudge against Su Yang. Yi Wanqing, Gu Pingping, and Su Yang have completed the class assignment. Reward distributed to every student. Compressed biscuit times 3, instant noodle times 3, 500 milliliters Coca-Cola times 4. Assignment grades. Yi Wanqing, A. Gu Pingping, B. Su Yang, B. Yi Wanqing supplies are doubled. She gains an additional 3 free attribute points. Gu Pingping and Su Yang's supplies are doubled. Each gains an additional 1 free attribute point. Gu Pingping had not anticipated such generous rewards. Although his grade was only B, the prizes were comparable to the A grade reward from the first assignment. That made sense, considering how much harder this task had been. Gu Pingping allocated his new attribute point to stamina. More stamina allowed him to maintain his talent for longer. After the adjustment, his stamina reached 13 points. He smiled. His talent's active duration had increased by another 3 minutes. If he kept accumulating points like this, he would eventually be able to use his ability freely. The Void Concealment talent was extremely formidable. Its only downside was its heavy stamina consumption. Although Gu Pingxing and the others had claimed their rewards, the class group chat erupted in chaos. Class chat channel Su Yang, what's going on? Only 3 people got rewards? There were 6 of us in total. That means either 1 or 2 people died. Huang Jiahao, it's really strange. Maybe the hunter killed an extra person. Or perhaps the hunter and 2 escapees all lost their lives. Huang Yonghua, that's terrifying. The second scenario is highly unlikely. I think the hunter probably killed 3 people. Wang Zihan, listen everyone. I suspect Gu Pingxing is the killer. He obtained an S rank skill last night. It's very possible he bore ill will toward the girls in our class and murdered those 3 girls. Wang Zihan had not forgotten her grudge against Gu Pingxing and immediately tried to frame him. Luo Qingxue, that can't be. Gu Pingxing would never do something like this. Li Jian, exactly. Brother Gu isn't that kind of person. Besides, killing 2 people would satisfy the requirement. Why would he kill 3? Lu Chong, I think one of the 3 deceased girls was the hunter. She killed 2 escapees and perished alongside one of them in the process. Shen She, that's wrong. The hunter isn't Gu Pingxing, nor is it any of the 3 girls. Don't forget the assignment scores. Yi Wanqing, our class monitor, got the highest score. Remember, scores are determined by how well you completed the assignment. At Yi Wanqing monitor, aren't you going to explain yourself? Lu Yan, he's right. If Yi Wanqing killed 3 people, exceeding the quota of 2, it would make sense for her to earn an A rank score. Li Na, but what if Wanqing killed the hunter instead and got the high score for that? Shen She, here's my theory. Both hunters and escapees have a shot at an S rank score. Either the hunter eliminates everyone, or the escapees take down the hunter. Those would count as fully completing the assignment, which is 100% progress. That means if Yi Wanqing really killed the hunter, she should have an S rank score. Of course, this is just my guess. We need the person involved to clarify things. At Yi Wanqing, reading Shen She's messages, Yi Wanqing's scalp tingled. Her hands trembled slightly. She knew this moment would come. Her classmates were bound to question her. She was the class monitor after all. Gu Pingxing stood beside her and said calmly, say whatever you need to. You're not alone. You have the whole team behind you. Encouraged by Gu Pingxing, Yi Wanqing steadied her nerves and prepared her response. Yi Wanqing, what do I need to explain? Shen She, don't play dumb. You only needed to kill 2 people to survive, yet you killed 3. Wang Zihan, that's right, Yi Wanqing. You're a murderer. Yi Wanqing, the 3 of them had old scores to settle with me. Lin Yao stole the jade bracelet my grandmother left me. Ma Xiaoli and Tan Lily bullied me before. I only sought revenge. The class chat channel fell silent instantly. Huang Fan, taking personal revenge during the assignment. Is that really justified? Lu Jiajia, I can see where she's coming from. That group brutally bullied Yi Wanqing in the girls' dorm before. If I were in her position and had a chance to get back at them, I would have done the same. Gu Pingxing, enough. The assignment is over. Whatever the former monitor did, she never attacked me or Su Yang, nor did she target anyone outside the assignment participants. She kept to the rules. In my opinion, the monitor hasn't done anything wrong. Li Jie, I agree. The monitor is innocent. Li Jie spoke up right after Gu Pingxing. As part of Gu Pingxing's group, Li Jie naturally chose to stand up for Yi Wanqing. Shortly after, Gu Pingxing's roommates, along with Luo Qingxue's dorm mates, voiced their support as well. Few students in the group dared to argue back. Those who had no allies began to realize how important forming teams was. Even actions that seemed unforgivable could be glossed over temporarily with the backing of a group. More and more students started forming factions. In the counselor's dormitory, Li Na stared at the chat messages in disbelief. She never imagined Yi Wanqing really had killed 3 girls. Wanqing, how could you become like this? As the class counselor, Li Na could not accept that a student she favored had committed such an act. If Yi Wanqing had only killed 2 people, things might have been understandable. After all, that would have been merely fighting to survive. But Yi Wanqing had killed 3. Wanqing was pushed into this. I saw how badly they bullied her before. But is she still the same Wanqing I knew? Confusion clouded Li Na's eyes. Meanwhile, inside a girl's dorm room, Wang Zihan stared fearfully at the messages on the screen. She had once bullied Yi Wanqing too. And Gu Pingxing as well. Those two are working together. Wang Zihan regretted speaking out against Gu Pingxing. He had broken her teeth only earlier that day.